The real gypsy soul is in the house.
How y'all doing tonight? Hope everybody's doing real good.
Hey. Gotta throw Candace in there. She's such a good sport. I'll turn this down a little bit. Okay. Hey, Mimi. Yeah, I the other day when I was live and Smoky Mountain Mama came in, and Rap came in, Stone Gator came in, a bunch of people came in, and darn it if I didn't. Hey, LB. Hey, are you for real, Jackie? Yeah, Stormy Skies. Thank you guys for coming in. I was wondering what's going on. I went shopping like twice this week because I was just telling Mimi. And the first time I went, I accidentally deleted my first, going shopping at the bin store live. And so I had to go back and do it all over again. So I've missed a lot that's going on these YouTube streets. And yeah, I hear Sarah being brought into it. And then late last night, I missed like almost all of Alicia's because I was over in the den trying to give support and mod for the den. Hey, Audrey, good to see you. And if you and I stay on Magnum, you'll get your picture. He has a horrible memory and just gets caught up doing other stuff. And what he has to do is go print it and then go ship it. So he's going to download it, then take it, print it, and then so it's a process. And he just keeps forgetting. So sorry about that. And I think a Tennessee girl is waiting on one too. So I will make it happen, I promise. But yeah, so like I see this morning on White Rabbit is leaving, and then I just left Prissy Penny Pincher, who's also leaving, and I'm like, what the hell happened? Hey, King of the Streets, good to see you, Jamie. I hope you're feeling better. We've all been worried about you. We miss you out here. We miss you. So I really hope you get to feeling better, and I hope honestly that Rabbit and Prissy Penny changed their minds. Let's storm the Capitol, so to speak. Let's storm the cockpit here, guys. I mean, we're all wanted here. Each and every one of us has unique talents, and I want to celebrate those and learn something from you guys and be entertained by one another and have fun. And I'm pretty sure that that's what the format of this platform was supposed to be used for. And I just wanted to say that to those few that are thinking of leaving this morning or have decided to leave this morning that you matter. You have loyal followers, and we hope you change your mind and you stay. And let's storm the cockpit, right? Let's take control of our own channels again and stop this mafia bullshit. So that's just my 2 cents. I'm nobody. I'm a little bitty old channel, and I don't care if I stay that way. I'm, not here trying to be a mega star. I'm just trying to kill some time before the old man brings me home, and hey, Lulu, getting the kiddos ready. I don't want her to leave either, like going to the bin store. That was her idea. And I really enjoy listening to her. And she put a few things in perspective for me. And I'm grateful to her for that. And Prissy Penny Pincher, I just have such a good time listening to her too. She gets my humor and laughs at my jokes. So I so I was real sad. I didn't even wait to put my makeup on. I just um, what are y'all's thoughts? I'm gonna start putting your comments up if that's okay. Okay. I'm just upset about that because each one of us has talent and creativity, and we should be celebrating that of each other, and I don't know. I'm not understanding the script here, and maybe there needs to be a new producer brought in. Maybe we should not be hanging out with certain producers, and maybe shift and get a new writer. If it's causing toxicity and havoc to the point you're a menace to society, get a new writer. Right? Get a new friggin' writer. Isn't that what they usually do? I mean, if this is really truly just entertainment, right? And our channels are our own little show, and don't take it seriously, right? Isn't that what Ernie said? Don't take any of this seriously. This is all a movie. I clipped that Alicia explained, and we've all heard Ernie say it too. So if that is true, and your audience is going on strike instead of the entertainers, what the hell's wrong with that scenario, right? Get new friggin' writers, right? Isn't that what we usually do? I mean, we stopped going to the movies, and we stopped going to shows, and we stopped turning on the tube or the YouTube. It's the same concept, right? But I'm wondering, why are the viewers going on strike? And we need to be like not doing that. We need to like shift the creators if they're creating menacing to society, right? Yeah, really. I mean, I don't know what I'm talking about, because I don't know the YouTube protocol when this sort of thing happens. So y'all tell me, there's too many of us leaving. That's why I named this Mama, there's too many of you crying. Wasn't that what's happening here? What the hell's going on? Right? And if this were a political scenario, would we lay down as a nation? Are we going to lay down and just, oh, well, let the balloon come? Well, I'll leave. I'll go to Canada. Is that really what we're going to do? What would our forefathers say? They'd say, where's your fight? Where's your gumption? And where's your powder gun? Right? I don't know. It just seems like, don't lay down. Don't lay down. Don't do that. Stormy Sky says, I listen to a lot of different creators on YouTube, all for different reasons. I get something useful and needed from each channel. Yeah. First time chatter, there's one common denominator. I have come to enjoy the smaller channels very much. There's no bullshit on the smaller channels. The trolls don't come, and when they do, I have a lot of mods, because I go to other communities where they don't even have mods. What does that say about over here? And if there's a common denominator, what did those heroes do when that was happening on the plane? They stormed the damn cockpit, right? Because there's more of us than that common denominator, isn't it? So if we were a nation and this were happening, are we going to just lay down or leave and walk away? I mean, it's sad to watch the good ones leave and the bad ones win. What are they winning, though? If all the subs leave, what are they winning? If they go over to Twitch, like some have done, if they go over to Discord, which some have done, what are they winning? Because their numbers aren't going up. What are they winning exactly? So I'm just, spouting off. I'm going to drop a link, see if anybody wants to come in here and give your 2 cents or say goodbye to whoever is leaving, or, whatever it is you want to say. If you want to give a fuck off, that's okay too. I can always private this. Well, that's what I'm saying, Stormy. I'm trying to use different analogies here. And maybe it's because of where the priority is, YouTube, in your life. But if this were a psychological experiment, let's just say, if this were a psychological experiment, well, the enemy won. So we're going to just let China come over and take us over? Because if this were the analogy of politics, are we as a nation just going to let that happen because the psychological warfare was too much? Am I getting too deep here? Maybe I need to eat a gummy. It's early. This is my caffeine brain. I mean, I can't help but think of this in terms of, if this were happening to us politically, what would we do? Because there's two sides politically. There is. And this is how we treat each other, isn't it? And this is how red and blue treat each other. And if this were to happen politically, what are we going to do? Hey, Steffers. You do understand what I'm saying? Good, because I wasn't sure if I was like, what is she talking about? But yeah, really, what's going on? And the song, What's Going On by Marvin Gaye, was during a period in time when it was happening politically, right? They were getting hosed in the streets, right? Just because of their skin color. And, I was just sharing this with my son. They had to use different bathrooms. They had to come through the back door. I mean, and where are we as a society from the 60s? Are we evolving, or are we going backwards? Sorry, here's my microphone. Or are we going backwards, back to Neanderthal and caveman days? So, what's going to happen if you start a channel for summer? I had to branch out because I thought I was going to start a channel for summer. And you get harassed. You get trolled to death. So you might want to blend something in, and when no one's looking, slide in a Summerwell story, because that's kind of how you got to do it around here. When everybody else is busy doing their bitching and griping and groaning, that's when I go, hey, let's talk about summer, the real issue here, because that's what I came here for, not for bullshit. I can go watch Jerry Springer anytime I want to on demand, or out in the yard, right? Watch my neighbors fight. I sure the hell don't want to spend my time here and paying for streaming to watch Raising Hell. I mean, I'm not all about Jerry Springer. I like, more like, SNL and late night talk shows. I'm not into the let's throw mud and raise hell and yee-haw and bitch, get me a chicken pot pie and a beer. I mean, you know what I mean? Put your wife beater shirt on and get me a beer and a pot pie. Surely we have evolved from treating each other that way, right? We are not evolving. You're right. We are not evolving. We're going backwards. Drives me crazy. I mean, I know that we repeat history in fashion. I'm sure Lisa can vouch for that from Crimes in Fashion. Sub up if you haven't yet. Jeez, it's just like, there are enough covering summer, too many trying to profit off the wells. Yeah. The reason I want to keep talking about her is because there for a while, people stopped. They stopped and they moved on to other cases. and she's not been found yet. We don't know what happened to her, and it will drive me crazy if this turns out to be another Jean Bonnet. I mean, not knowing is that's why I would never be a cop. I mean, my dad was an undercover cop, and not knowing, I wouldn't have been able to sleep. How do you sleep? And then juggle all these other cases. I mean, I've got to know. I've got to know. Or stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everyone, that's exactly right. Hey, children, what's that sound? Everybody, look what's going down. Yep. Hell yes. Hell yes. And this is where, right here, her comment right here, Mermaid. This is where I got hung up in the Tiger cult. And I was looking for a hero in a human, in someone that was mortal. And that's ridiculous. To put that off on a human being to carry on their shoulders was not fair to Ernie or anyone else. But boy, oh boy, did we. And when he didn't live up to those expectations, boy, did we let him know it, right? And I feel bad because, listening to Alicia last night, she's right. He did always say, it's a show, y'all. Y'all are getting caught up in this too much. He said that. And he said, this is a movie several times. There are still loyal followers that believe every damn word he said was true and was real. And there are people in this world that think that J.R. Ewing was a real oil man. So there you go. Reality is your perception, not necessarily the truth, right? Yep. And isn't that what's happening now, Steffers? Chaos, menacing. I mean, what would we do if we were really under attack? So let's just say this is our mock trial. This is our trial run. What are we going to do? Where's the fight in us? Let's see. Jumped up on me. Okay. That's right, Steffers. I forgot all about that. Yes, they did. They stopped, and I thought, oh no. And everybody started saying, oh, that's a cold case. And I thought, no, we have to, everybody is still around that was there. I hope it's not another Jean Bonnet. We are the heroes together right there. Where's my clap? I love that. I wish I could pin it. Can I pin that? Did I? I did. Awesome. Oh, you didn't? Okay. And I didn't follow the Gabby Petito case. I wasn't involved yet. I had gone to Gatlinburg. And that's when I heard the story about Summer when I got back home. And I was like, oh, the area that Donna Serafina says that a lot of the trafficking trade-offs happen. We had just walked around that place and stayed in a hotel right next door. So it really freaked me out. And so I was drawn to it. I'd just been there. Hey, Bridget, thank you for coming. Yeah, he did say, I mean, what are you going to do? That he did give a disclaimer, and it was at the beginning of his show that, it's just like the beginning of, what was it called? Shit. People's Court. Do y'all remember People's Court? Or hell, even Jerry Springer. It says that this is, bullshit. Not bullshit. Y'all know what I mean. It's that disclaimer saying that some things aren't true. These are paid participants, yada, yada, yada. And it's just like when we watch reality TV shows like The exterminator. I bet he ain't an exterminator. I bet he ain't an exterminator. So why did we get so pissed off that reality entertainment happened on YouTube? And he kept trying to tell us this isn't real, but we still believed it was real. I can't explain it, y'all. It's some mind fucking is all I gotta say. Excuse my French, but that's the best way I can say that was a total mind screw for a year. A rabbit hole, whatever you want to call it, but it was like, holy cow. Yeah, same here. I was just talking about his humor today. He said something to Bob one time, and if you grew up the time period I did, where there were vulgar comedians, it doesn't bother you because you've heard vulgar comedians, like Cat Williams or Sam Kinison, sometimes Whoopi Goldberg, or and so he said one day, I've always been there for my kids. Bob said, I've always been there for my kids. Their whole life I've been there, always been there for them. And Rap said back, yeah, but you've never seen them. I was like, that's terrible. But Bob was, he even laughed. It's like, you got to look at it as he's roasting you and not, trolling you. And then you laugh with him. You get me? I don't know. I guess I can laugh at myself. I mean, that's just kind of how we grew up. The baby of 5, they picked on me bad. Nobody can pick on you like your damn siblings can. They tore me. They had me convinced I was born black for a long time. And I was waiting on my mom to come get me. I mean, really crazy how it's shit like that. So, it's all relative, And if you know he's a troll and you don't want to partake in that entertainment, that's what the block button is for. Move on. It's really not that difficult. If you go over there and ask for it, well, that's what's going to happen. Yes, Bridget. Hell yeah, you did. Suffer says, I hate seeing Rabbit leaving and Penny and all this Jack foolery, or Tom, Bob, whoever foolery. I just don't like it. All of them. All of their, yeah. Tom, Bob, all of it. Yeah, he did. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was behind Southern Girl doing that to me. I was told that he was the one behind it. So, there you go. Yeah, he was. If you didn't, even when you sucked up to him sometimes, he was still a jerk to you. And it made no sense. It's like, where's that coming from? I don't know. I don't care anymore, to be honest with you. I'm over it. Whatever. I've met my friends from over there. Thank God. I miss some of them that I don't get to see that often because they're still over there believing it, which is sad. But, that's how Amway became, a multi-million-dollar company, was people believed their bullshit. So, do y'all remember Mr. Haney? Genuine artificial vinyl. It would be fun for them to be on YouTube if they didn't make a mockery. Yeah. Yeah. I was a baby too. They fed my baby a lot of dog ketchup. So she had a period. That's how I had to learn about periods. Yeah. That's funny. You want him in jail? I can understand that, especially if you gave him money. I never had it to give, so yes, they are. They are very good people, and it. I don't want them to go. I hope they change their mind. Hey, Mars. Good to see you. I just now saw your name there. See, he is a menace to society. Isn't that the truth? Dennis the Menace is the truth. I did not give him money, but he did criminal stuff, so he needs to go to jail. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's who was behind Southern Girl doing that to me and my husband. Not that we really give a shit because, I mean, everything that's on our record we own up to, we've explained. And my record is pretty obvious that I went through a divorce in my early 20s. And so there's like an assault on an asshole, a stalk in an asshole, a trespass in an asshole, a larceny of my plant of an asshole that he wouldn't give me back. So it's like, yeah, she went through a divorce. I went and got a DUI. So yeah, I partied. I was going through a divorce. I don't drink now because I got fat. And ever since I got fat, it makes me kind of feel sick. I might drink one or two, but after that, I feel like blah. So I just smoke weed, CBD gummies, CBD weed, and to me, it fixes all that's wrong. So this side of YouTube has gotten so toxic. Most of the subs seem to be very distrustful. Expected out of all, yeah, no. It's like PTSD, isn't it? Hey, Alicia. If you would like to come up, I only caught half of your live last night, and I'm sure you saw a couple of the clips I made that I thought people should hear. I can drop a link I can drop a link for whoever wants to come up and chit chat with me. Alicia won't be here till I think 11. So yeah, they're wanting you to come up, Alicia. I will be team replay, Alicia. Missed your lives. I know. I fall out, man. I'm like sitting there with my phone on. Next thing I know, I have fallen asleep. The phone has gone completely dead. And I have food all over me. No, I'm just kidding. Honey bun, no. You missed it too, Steffer. Yeah, come on up, Alicia, if you can. Just give a 5-minute recap. Oh, good. Okay, good.
Hey, Gypsy.
People,
I probably won't be able to stay on long because Bella should be getting up probably in the next 30 minutes. We had a
I
rough night.
understand.
She's cutting her top teeth, and
Oh,
we were having to go back from Motrin to Tylenol last night. She was getting fever and she was fussy and she just didn't sleep well at all. So I'm tired.
does she like popsicles?
Oh, she likes everything. I haven't found a food yet she won't eat.
Popsicles will numb her gum.
Yeah, I was doing the Oragel and
Sugar pie. I hadn't scheduled it. I just went live because I had been talking to I was Red Rabbits, and then I was in Prissy Penny Pinchers, and then I had gotten a couple of texts from Sarah, and I was like, shoot, I need the hours, so I'm just gonna go live and find out what the hell's going on. So that's why I titled it, "What the hell's going on?" There's too many of us leaving. Why are Penny and Rabbit leaving now?
oh,
Why aren't we storming the cockpit?
it's Mars House's birthday, Gypsy. Happy birthday, Mars House.
Happy birthday! Happy birthday!
Yeah, I saw your title and that's why I hopped on to see who else was talking about leaving, because I'm probably gonna take a break myself from it all and just, it's just getting out of hand right now, and then throwing me in on this stuff is ridiculous. I don't need all of that.
I hope you don't leave, though. I mean, there's more of us than the common denominator.
Oh, I know, but this whole, they try to take everything real life, and I just don't need to deal with that right now.
That's the part that I don't get. If it's a movie, why do they go real life?
Well, I think it just, like I said on the live last night, I think that it came to that because um the I guess the scripts or whatever that's being played out with the fights between people and cutting people down kind of came to a creative block. Like, we don't know what else to make up about someone or accuse somebody of or whatever, so we
I
have to
want to
flip it to
ask
the
you
next level.
something.
Hmm.
Okay, I heard you say that last night. I may sound really naive and stupid about YouTube and today's entertainment world, but why aren't they just writing a show?
I don't know.
I mean, I've heard them sing, I've heard them be comedic, I've heard them do skits, I've heard them do parody. Why aren't they just writing a damn show? Because they can do it and getting out of this bullshit.
I don't know. I mean, I think that some of the fighting and all that takes place and everything is real between, creators and stuff. But then a lot of it is just, hey, what can we come up with and think of today for more shock value, and throw out there to see if it'll stick and people will run with it. Are you for real? Yeah, because my real name is not Alicia Turner. That's a second name that I've used for within my, like, an alias name that I've used for over 20 years. The name came from a really good friend of mine that passed, and a lot of people know who I really am, and I don't use my real name because of my work, because of my job, and because on top of that, I have went through this whole stalking and harassing on here before and had to sue someone.
Yeah, that's common for entertainers to go by a different name, especially, in the old days. I mean, hardly anybody went by their real name. So that shouldn't be a surprise. That's an entertainment industry staple, right?
A lot of publicists have a name that they use when putting out content for their clients, because you don't want to get stalked and harassed because of who you work for,
Mm-hmm.
and that happens a lot in this industry because you've got people who have such a huge fan base, and they will look for their managers, their publicists, people that are close to them to get to them.
Why do you think they're going real life? What's the point? What is the end game? What is it they're getting out of that?
I think it's just ugliness and hatefulness, and that it's a thrill to try to destroy somebody for whatever reason that's really going on within their hearts. No, I'm not multiple characters on YouTube. I have my real true account, which is mainly just videos from my family, and then I have the Alicia Turner. That's it.
Marilyn Monroe wasn't Marilyn Monroe.
No.
You know?
Hold on
Oh, I'm sorry, Mars.
1 second. I'm gonna mute out and see what my son needs.
Okay. Monetized views. But people would watch them. Okay, these are people that I have seen in action. Let me just say, I have seen them do comedic acts, parodies, cooking. Well, those got the same views, man. If you have a following, you have a following. All you got to do is go live. They just want to see you. They just want a little taste of you for the day. And to me, when they say only drama gets views, that is bullshit. That's not true. That's not true. So,
I'm back. My son was leaving
Okay.
for work. He just wanted to tell me goodbye and have a good day and all that kind of stuff.
If you Google what gets the most views on YouTube, they're instructionals, like, how do I do this, right? Or I just bought this drone, how do I do this, right? Or I just bought this, like last night I bought a sewing machine and I don't have the booklet. There's how-tos and also reviews. It doesn't say drama anywhere on the list. So when they tell you that, Alicia, please, it's bullshit. Drama is not what gets the damn views, y'all. Go all over YouTube one day and crowd surf. Just crowd surf. Some don't even have mods. And it's totally ridiculous. So this thing that they're buying into, that's why they used to go over to Jerry Springer. Oh, that's what everybody's watching. When you say that and drum up the hype, they think that's where everybody's at. But if everybody's at somewhere else, they'll go to that house and leave their bike in the front yard.
I watch a lot of true crime videos, from true crime creators that do not do drama at all, that get millions of views, And then
You're like Duty Ron.
Yeah, and then there's like people like Mr. Beast, my goodness, he said the other day he's close to getting 10% of the world's population in views combined with all of his social media together, and he's just, a philanthropist guy that does
this right here. People are leaving YouTube because of the drama. So this concept of the drama sells, that's a lie. You are driving people off the platform altogether. That is a lie. That is a made up propaganda. That is not what people come here for. They want a reprieve from their bullshit life. That's why they come to Fantasyland. They want a fantasy.
Right.
Am I right? When y'all come here, don't y'all come here for Fantasy Island? Y'all don't come here so you can start a fight with your neighbor. Hell, you can do that right here.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to talk over you, but I just had to make that point. I'll shut up now.
No, it's fine. It's true. It's just an alternate to television, If there's not something streaming on Netflix or something, or TV show that you're currently into, and something you can kind of interact with, and like you said earlier, you've made some good friends on here, and I know you and I, we talk a lot, and
yeah, you're my bestie.
Yeah.
You and Sarah are my best friends. I don't have any other friends but y'all.
It went off YouTube into real life. Like, my real life. I know your real life, we can vouch for each other on what's going on in our lives and stuff. Like, we know who each other are, and that's great. Like, you're not going to get that from watching TV or streaming Netflix, so that's what makes YouTube special. But with any good thing, there's always got to be these bad actors that, try to ruin it for the rest of the people.
It's interesting that I'm seeing y'all say views, but I want y'all to also go look at the analyticals at retention. They come in, they see it's bullshit, and they leave. They're not retaining. To me, that's important. I want people that are going to keep coming back.
I'm just reading the comments.
That's interesting right there. Sarah's happy. Mr. Beast and such are bullying algorithms. The music industry has paved the way. Okay. Love you too, Sugar Pie.
I've never even watched the Mr. Beast guy. I know two of my sons do. They follow like everything he does, and they're always telling me about things, and praising him. But it sounds good to me from what they say,
Yeah. When I think of like reality TV, I think of like the reality TV shows that I've watched. Take for instance, what was that one where they would eat eyeballs and things like that. Fear Factor.
Yeah.
Fear Factor. That's probably where I started with reality TV. And then it like went to, I was never into the Bachelor bull crap because I just felt like that was like prostitution. So I liked 90 Day Fiance because I knew friends that had happened to. I have family that are overseas, and so I understood the whole concept of 90 Day Fiance. And then Love After Lockup. I found that interesting because while you're in there, what are you doing to bide your time? There's all these websites that I didn't even know existed that is for, people that are locked up to find love. And I'm in the crime community. Well, there's got to be love with it too, right? And then there's scamming that goes along with that. And then there's drama that goes along with that. But it doesn't seem like people are, especially the subs, are getting hurt. Like I go over to Amzi, who covers Love After Lockup. She doesn't even have any mods. And they have drama, bad drama. And it's like they are treating each other with respect over there. And it's Love After Lockup. These people just got out of jail. And over here, most of us haven't even been to jail and we're acting like this. So whenever I want to break, I go over to other communities where they act civilized and they don't have this common denominator problem.
Yeah. Sarah kind of answered that question, but someone named Always Watching said, Alicia, didn't you say on Jimbo's a few weeks ago that someone had come for the baby that you have, the godparents or something? I heard you say that. Did you forget? No, I didn't forget. That's what I said. She was put in temporary placement with us, while the mom was trying to find someone that she knows that could, keep her and watch her. And the only people that she really had was godparents, because the mother was raised in the system herself. She doesn't have her parents or aunts or uncles or anything like that, but she has some godparents that fostered her when she was younger. And so she asked them to stay at the godparents. And they checked out the godparents' house, ran their backgrounds, all that, and then came and got Bella, and they took her to the godparents. So that way she could stay there with her mother. But her mother didn't like the rules that the godparents gave her. So she called and wanted the baby to come back here again, and she wanted to come here. But then she didn't like the rules that we had for her, which is pretty much was just a curfew. Mm-hmm. So the mother took off and left the baby.
Is she young? She must be young.
Yeah, she's young.
Yeah. Okay, well, there you go. There's your answer. So she didn't live up to the service plan and she was returned to you, period.
Right.
And Maz, y'all know I don't tolerate bullshit. If anybody's disrespected, get them out of here. I ain't got time for that. My time's limited. As Judge Judy says, I got things to do. I ain't got time for drama. I got shit to do.
It's just ridiculous because what did I do besides just come out and tell my story about Ernie? And
well, you knew he was going to come after us.
Right.
I mean, especially while he's off the platform, he's sitting there watching us, and he's, these motherfuckers, I'm going to get them, watch me, I'm going to get them, oh. That's what he's doing, because his crazy, sick-ass mind is going, brrr. They were all after me. They were all out to get me all along.
Right. But besides, giving my own opinions, which I always said this was my opinion, things like that, everything that I said is things that he's already said before. Like, he's told people about his schizophrenia, about his post-traumatic stress disorder. Everybody knows about his runs and things like that. He's told everybody about reality entertainment and it being a movie. Last night I even stuck up to him for a fact, saying he let people know. The people are the ones that chose to continue believing things or, whatever. But he's always let people know that it was a movie, it was entertainment.
Always watching. I'm going to tell you some good advice that I had to learn in my 52 years. Go to the source, period. Because you know what happens when a secret is told? It changes. And then it's told again, and then it changes. And then it's told again, and then it changes. And by the time it makes it to the fifth or fourth person, it's not even the real story anymore. So if you've got questions about Alicia's baby, she's on YouTube. Send her a message and ask her.
Or email me, aliciaturner81@gmail.com.
Go to the source from now on, and you don't have to worry about rumors and he said, she said. Well, I saw a screenshot and I saw that. Go to the source. Just go ask the source. That's what I do.
Yeah. But I knew, and I said it then, I knew, speaking out and everything was going to cause people to get upset and angry. But I also knew that, like Ernie said, it's kind of a staying operation, because when you speak out and then you see who comes out of the bushes and starts attacking you, well, then you know who, I'm not going to say is in his pocket, because I'm not saying he's paying these people, but who are still talking with him, taking orders from him, doing his bidding at the ones that come after you,
Do they believe his bull crap, or are they just crooking with them?
I think that it's partial belief on a lot of things, partial, being in love with him, maybe, or just kissing up to him for whatever reason.
Ideation.
Yeah, I don't think that they all believe everything that he says, because he tells them that it's not all true. He does say that. He does tell them that,
I was mad at Tina for about 10 minutes, and I thought to myself, why am I mad at her? She told me all along. I said, I'm a little confused about this. I'm a little confused about that. And she always was honest with me. And she said, look out for LARPing actors, psyops, and trolls.
Mm-hmm.
And when she said LARPing actor, I didn't know she meant Ernie. That's my fault. You said it in your clip. It's my fault. I was given the information. I'm the one who processed it wrong.
Well, that, and I did also say, that sometimes you don't know what's the movie and what is real, because he does blur the lines. He doesn't come out and say this part is entertainment. There's no disclaimer. So it's kind of hard to know which part of it is his real life stuff and which part of it is all just being staged for entertainment.
Right. I don't think there's a whole lot of real going on there, is there? I mean, when you said that you don't believe that he believes what he's saying is true, I don't know that I agree with that.
Well,
I think that 50% of it, he, just like my mom, really believed that we knew the Kennedys. We didn't know the Kennedys. We did not know the Kennedys. But when she was sick and not taking her meds and, being schizophrenia mom, she would tell these stories and she would get angry if we didn't go along with it. And if we combated with her and said, Mom, stop it. You know that we don't know the damn Kennedys. It would become a fight, and sometimes violent fight. And I mean fist fights. That's why she was arrested and I was, moved in with my dad. She would become violent because we would tell her, stop this. Right. So I totally, if he is truly schizophrenic, paranoid schizophrenic, he believes half that shit. He really does. He truly believes that we are all out to get him.
Yeah, I totally believe that. I do think he has paranoia, and that he does believe that a lot of people are out to get him. But there's, multiple personalities there because of the schizophrenia. So there's times where I think he completely knows what he's doing, making things up. He knows that it's not true. But then, like I said, later on, he might totally forget that he did make something up and say something wasn't true and start to believe that it is true. Like, I've seen him do that. I even used an example where he made something up, and then like a week later he spoke it like it was truth and even got emotional about it, you know. So I do think that he does have this side of him that just makes up these stories and this for entertainment purposes and all of that. But then there's the other side of him with the schizophrenia and the paranoia that forgets that it was made up, and then he starts to believe it himself.
I like Tina too, Stuffers. I mean, I'm kind of a hippie at heart, and I understand that there's, you know, some, I don't know if it's ideation or like a brotherly sort of love that she has for him. And I think that she wants to see him be okay, you know, as a friend or sister would. I think that she worries about him not being okay.
Well, yeah, of course. And I worry about him not being okay. I don't want to see, you know, him get hit by a car or something, or him have a severe breakdown where he hurts himself. And that's why when we knew he was all a fugitive, you know, I went on someone's live, I can't remember who it was now, and I said, you know, everybody pray for Ernie, because he might be scared to death right now. He's already paranoid in life as it is. Now he knows he's got all these people looking for him. He knows he's in real trouble. You know, he's going to be scared of any cop that he sees. And this could lead him to having a real bad episode or even harming himself, because the last thing that he wants is to be put in jail, and especially in a prison where Shelby is at. You know, that's got to be terrifying for him, you know. And then he knows he failed everyone. You know, he's this big bounty hunter and child rescuer and all this kind of stuff, and now he is the fugitive. Like, that's falling hard.
I want to answer Staffers. Have you ever been to a Renaissance festival where you live? Or have you ever been to a cosplay festival or convention? That's LARPing acting. Or have you ever been to, like, let's say a reenactment outdoors? That's LARPing acting. That is putting on a costume and becoming that character, like really becoming that character.
And they take
That's
it really
LARPing.
seriously too. A lot of them do.
A lot of them do.
She said, so is the hospital thing real? It's hard to know, because if you go back from even his Facebook days, you know, there's a video on here from a guy that was, you know, making fun of him, making videos pretending to be him, kind of like Bernie Smells, but it's not him, from 9 years ago, where he's talking about Ernie, you know, going in the hospital on his deathbed and collecting money for his hospital bills 9 years ago.
Now, see, I told you what I think of that. To me, that's Who Shot JR. This was his cliffhanger until he can come back. His cliffhanger, you know, the end of the season cliffhanger. Who shot JR? Who got Ernie Shell until he comes back? He created a stir, a hum with his name in it, period.
And he probably did. He, you know, like I said, I do think he has problems. Like, he gets himself dehydrated. You know, he doesn't have the best diet, things like that. He may have went to the hospital for a day or two about something, but I don't think he was in there all that time, and there was no chest surgery, and he had to learn to walk again. You know, all that stuff is all just Ernie adding to the story, like he always does. I have seen Sybil, for you, Are You For Real? Long time ago, but I know what you're talking about, the woman with the multiple personalities based on a true story.
Yeah. I've wondered if he had multiple, because I've wondered if my mom did, because my mom, she could take on a whole nother persona. There was the mom that was dressed to the nine. Oh, I grew up on Country Club Road. You had to be. And when we went to church, mom was dressed, you know, straight out of Montello's, you know. And Then there were times when I would get off the bus and she's not wearing a bra and a very see-through top with a bonnet on her head doing the yard work. And it was like, what the hell are you wearing, Mom? Get in the house. We had to kind of be the transaction analysis of parent child was all screwed up. You know what I mean? So it's like we had to like get on to her. And to me, I was hoping that I would snap her back into reality. And there were times when I would say, Mom, would you please be normal today? I need your help. And it was like she knew, but she couldn't help it. She couldn't help it.
Yeah, and he, like I said, he's come out and he's told people on a few different lives about his diagnosis and his post-traumatic stress disorder and why he has it and stuff. And I do believe that majority of what he said when he was open and honest about that he was telling the truth. Maybe a little embellishing here and there, but for the most part, he was telling the truth. He was being raw and truthful at that time that he spoke about those things. And that then and there is when people should have, like, people who don't know about schizophrenia and being paranoid and all that should have looked it up, watched a few videos, and they would have saw him in a completely different light like I do. And instead of bashing him, trolling him, harassing him, making fun of him or whatever, they could have just opened their hearts and understanding to it and then just watched him for just the pure entertainment and not got so emotionally involved in everything, if ever he is going to come back onto YouTube, if he's, allowed or whatever, that's what he needs to do. He just needs to be completely transparent about everything, and then he can have fun doing his movie.
That's exactly what Constance is trying to get across. She's not trying to like berate him, even though it comes across that way. That's not her plight. Her plight is, look, dude, you're nice looking on camera. You have a persuasive persona. You're, a great face for camera and talking head for merchandise and product. If he were marketed right, he could really soar. But he's caught up in this fantasy bullshit. And she's like, don't go that route. Fire those writers and go with just be you, dude. You're entertaining just being you. And
Right.
He don't get it. He takes that as a threat. He takes that as negative. And it's not. The crap that you're making up to make yourself look good is doing the complete opposite. So just be you, dude.
He did get it at one point in time because he changed the name to just Ernie Shell, and he was going to do away. And he told everybody, I'm getting too old now for, the predator hunting thing. And, that's just not me anymore.
Okay, stop right there. Stop right there. But let me tell you what he did. He played footsie with his girlfriend and ate in front of us.
Yeah.
Okay, that wasn't entertaining.
Right. So he kind of had to go to the story stuff again. And,
no, he didn't have to go back to that. He needed to write himself a damn show.
Yeah.
Like when he went to Niagara Falls, that was fantastic. And like when he was out doing something else.
Oh, the ghost.
I can't remember. It seems like
really
he was on a boat. We loved that. Because when you're a homebound, you don't get to see shit. And you don't get to experience shit. And so you're living vicariously through these creators. Sitting there watching him play footsie with his girlfriend, it was like, well, this is boring. Who wrote this garbage? It's like, look, just go do some shit and carry your phone with you. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, I told him on live for everybody to hear, make a vlog channel. Turn your channel into a vlog. You're always traveling. You don't stay in one place. Take everybody with you.
Perfect footage.
And stop with all of the other mess. And he did try for a minute.
He did really good at it.
Yeah, it's just that he wasn't getting the same views as he was before.
I don't believe that.
At least that's what
I want to look at the analyticals because I don't believe that.
And
the only reason why that happened was because he alienated a crowd before he did it.
Yeah, True.
That's why that happened, not because of what he was doing. He alienated a crowd, and then he tried to go out and be it himself. Well, you done pissed your crowd off, dude. So he needed to be a little more methodical about how he markets himself. You have to be likable to get views, but if everybody's mad at you, they want you to fall off that Niagara Falls, you know.
Correct.
You know.
I know
So
he's
that
on Facebook.
he needed to stay our hero, and this, not that he was going to fight demons, but in the sense that he was the all-around American guy from the country who ate pinto beans and cornbread. That's all he had to be. It was just his down-home self. Show us Kentucky. Show us Tennessee. Show us some shit. I mean, that's all you got to do. Even Tim Mullen could do it.
Yeah, I agree. And I told him that several times. And he, like I said, he did listen because he changed the channel name. He started doing it. He even told everybody that that's the route he was going to take, and he was done with everything else. But he just didn't stay the path, stay the course.
One more thing I kept telling him. I don't care if he hates me for this. Show your goddamn face. All these women that follow you, they want to see you. They just want a little taste of you to take with them through the day. They don't want to look at a black box. When you go live, they leave. I watched it. They leave if you don't show your face. They leave. He's good looking, and they want to see him. They want to hear him, and he is theatrical, demonstrative when he talks, when he speaks. He's got, the facial stuff.
Yeah.
They want to see that. They want to see him tap dance, so to speak. His
Right.
dog and pony. Well, you can't see a dog and pony with a black screen, guys. Don't wonder why you're not getting views, and people have to look at this all day. They tell y'all that over and over and over. It doesn't matter if you're ugly like me. They just want to see Cynthia or Gypsy make these facial expressions when she talks.
Well,
it's so easy. It's not that. They want to see you. This is TV in 2022. Oprah would not have gotten the views if you just saw this all the time. Am I right, guys?
Rockin' Robin said we want him the way that we want him, but that's not his authentic identity. But what we're saying, Robin, is that he doesn't have to act in all these movies. He doesn't have to create all these stories. He just needs to just be him, just be his normal self, and not with all the extra theatrics. And he would have, beloved views. There would be a lot of people who would love him just for him without all the added drama stuff.
What is it? Justice for All? Is that Justin? Is that the name of his channel? I always get it wrong because there's so many like it.
Yeah.
He said the same thing last night, or was it the night before when he was interviewing Trevor Lee? He said the same thing. People want to see your damn face. Stop all this doxing bullshit and dox yourself. Why are you hiding anyway? You don't hide on Facebook. You don't hide on Instagram. It's only a matter of time before they put the two together. So show your face, people, and you will get views. People will want to interact with you. They feel more comfortable if they see you. They trust you if they see you. They want to interact with you. They want to come up on panel and talk to you if they can see you. But if you're just a black box screaming for 7 hours a day, I turn that shit off. I turn it off.
Jackie Gooch says she actually feels bad for him a little in a way because of his childhood and he's mentally ill, and she doesn't hate him or hate anyone. I don't hate him at all.
I don't hate him at all either. I feel sorry for him. It reminds me of family.
And I want to see him do good. I want the best for him. I really do. And when he messaged me on Facebook last night, all mad and going off on me, and saying that Jesus is going to be mad at me and I'm doing Satan's work and I've turned against him and all that. No, I have not. And I told him that. I want him to do what's right. I want him to get this stuff with court taken care of. I want him to be open and honest, be transparent like I've always told him. Come out, tell the truth. I told him, I said, that you're not being honest. Tell the truth. Just be you. Everything I'm saying here, I told him last night. Of course, he didn't respond to it because he's all mad and angry because I'm being, I'm confronting him on things. But if anything's ever going to go good for him, that's what he has to do.
Mm-hmm. Just be your authentic self. Oprah did a whole segment on that, and then there was like a book that you could do. It's all self-help, sociology, psychology. We have to know these things. That's what makes us civilized.
He may never do it, are you for real? But he needs people to tell him that. If several people, even his enablers, went to him and say, Ernie, we love you for you, mental health problems and all.
And all.
And
I told him that. I'm so glad you said that. The last messages I sent to Ernie was that. I said, what happened to you? We all believed in you. He said, you're believing lies and bullshit. I said, you know what? It doesn't matter whether it's lies and bullshit. You just need to know that you still have your team. We're just scattered because you shut us out over Southern Girl. You shut Alicia, Sarah, me, Sugar Pie, all over Southern Girl. So to me, you chose her over us. You didn't want us anymore. So we left. And you're mad that we left, but you didn't want us.
Right. You can't poop on someone and then be mad because they don't stay 100% loyal to you. And you also can't take every bit of criticism as a complete attack against you.
That's ego. That's male ego. I deal with that on the day.
Right. And I mean, he didn't do that whenever I was, trying to help him, and I was giving him advice and telling him what I think he should and shouldn't do and stuff like that. He didn't take it. At least he didn't come off that he did. But
I can go back in my messages and prove to you the conversations I had with Dolly and Ernie. And I said, you need to do a spinoff. You need to do a spinoff. You need to do a spinoff. And who did it? Rap. And when Rap did it, he got mad. I said, you could have done that. Yeah. All you had to do was go talk to Dolly. I had set it up. And Dolly said, as long as it's not associated with my channel, I want it to be a standalone. I said, I get that. I just want your misfits. The ones that get voted off, send them over to my misfit island and we'll have a little fun with it. And Ernie said no.
Well, he did do a live with a Tiger Island because I came up there on it, and It's Me came up there on it, and we were kind of discussing, what it would be, how it was going to work, and all of that. And then he ended up deleting that live, and he never went forth with it. So.
And then, like when I told him, I said, you need to get Benny in front of all of his peers on YouTube and have a trial. Let him be judged by all of his peers in a court of law, via YouTube. And when he did that, it wasn't exactly the way I had it pictured in my head. He used it as a troll session and it didn't go right. I had it pictured where it would actually be a mock-up trial. Yeah. And they would each get to give their, pros and cons, or, prosecution versus defense. But he turned it into a just bashed Benny and he left, and it was a no-go. And it was just him and Rayshawn, and Rayshawn didn't really even grasp the concept of what we were even doing. He should have done that before the show started. So it was like the execution of it didn't go right. And I've seen other people, I can't remember who, but there have been other people who took that idea and they did do it the right way. And it's worked out for them. The execution part of it, maybe he needed to think about it before he went live. But
you can't get him to do anything that's organized. That's the thing.
Okay. Never mind.
I learned that early on with him. Because he's so scattered and all over the place, and he's impulsive and all that, which all comes from his mental problems. He can't do anything that's organized. So he's not going to sit and, write something out and, figure out a plan and then run with it and stick to it. He just cannot do that. I do think
I have
it's
this
hard and
problem right here. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I do think he needs hard and intensive therapy. I really do, and I told him that. But I also think that he does listen. Now, it takes more than one or two or three people. You know, he will listen when people all give him his opinion, when they're lovingly open and honest with him. And that's why I said I believe that if several people came to him and was honest with him and told him, you know, what they want, what they expect, and what they hope for him, that he would go with it at that point, you know, because he kind of fell backed into a corner a little bit. You know, the worst thing to do is to enable his behavior. If you really care about him, if you have any love for him, you know, and you really want to see him to be good, then you just have to be honest with him about how you feel in a loving way, and he will listen. I've seen him do it.
Let me ask you something while we're talking about narcissists. Is there hope for them?
All the studying that I've been doing these past few months, and I've watched easily over 100 videos from different, you know, doctors, and they all say there's not. But like I said when I was doing the videos about my stepdad and everything, he went from being a pathological liar, complete abusive, mentally, physically, verbally narcissist, to turn into God, and, you know, asking for that forgiveness, like realizing that he was that type of person, and he worked really hard to stop. Now, he's definitely nowhere near perfect. You know, he still at times will get angry, and you'll see a lot of that oldness in him. But for the most part, he's a complete different person. So I don't know if I completely agree with all of those doctors saying that someone can't change from it. But I do think it takes someone being brought to their knees.
My husband has narcissistic personality traits that I've shared with you. And what I see in him and why I stayed 20 years, I see remorse
Mm-hmm.
and I see effort, a lot of effort, a lot of effort. And if I didn't, I'd have been gone a long time ago. And he knows that because I've left several times. And when he knows that there's consequence, that I don't stick around for bullshit. I just don't. And I think that, you know, me being bipolar and him, you know, being ADD and ADHD, we both have PTSD. We both have trust issues. We've both been married and divorced and burnt before. So there's a lot of, you know, baggage there, but it's the effort that I see him really try and not be that person. Now, there's most of the time his ego wants to get in the way. And
Mm-hmm.
there's nothing wrong with me. It's all you. Well, if everybody around you is on a shit ton of meds just so they can put up with you, it might be you. You might want to try some. So when we tried those with him, he's who I married. So it's like, is this dementia or is this narcissism? Because he wasn't always this way, you know. He's
Yeah.
evolved into this older man who's angry that he's old and that nothing works and he's always in pain. And so, you know, he has those traits. But like I said, you know, you said that you see that Ernie has remorse and that Ernie doesn't really want to be that way. And you can see it. You can,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why we hung in there with him. It's
There's
his
also
heart. It's his heart.
narcissistic personality traits from learned behaviors. Um, you know, Ken was military and stuff, and you can pick up those behavioral traits from your trainers and stuff there. You know, and being around all the men in a tense, scary situation, things like that. Most people get it from just their parents. You know,
Mm,
not
his
being very
mother.
nurturing, you know, being very self-centered, things like that. But that's everybody. There's no one living really that don't have some narcissistic traits. We all get them, and sometimes it's just a survival mode that we get in, you know, that gives us those traits. But
Okay, let me ask you this. They're
Mhm.
saying that it's a personality trait. Well, if he's been with me longer than he lived with his mother, can't I retrain that brain?
It's really hard. They'll tell you that your personality comes in the first year of your life, and that is really hard to change. So, in the very first year of your life, what you saw, what you witnessed, how you were treated, how you were nurtured, will stick with you for the rest of your life, and it's really hard to change that.
So
Um,
I have nothing to look forward to.
no, I mean, if you love him and you're open and you're honest with him, and you sit and you talk with him and you tell him, like, this is how I feel, this is how you're making me feel,
Oh, he hears it all day long.
you can get to them, if that remorse is there. But if he has the disorder, that's completely different than having traits. With
Okay.
the disorder, that's what they're saying they think is incurable, because you cannot reason with them, and they will not ever admit to any faults.
No, he does. He admits to faults.
Then he's not got the disorder, he's just
No,
got
I have to
trait.
make him. I have to like literally make him. But he eventually will, if the threat is right. I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
With Ernie, it's kind of like a combo. There's like, he's got the complete, I believe, I could be totally wrong, I'm not a doctor, but I think that he has the actual disorder, but there is still a part of him that has this remorse, and he knows when he's went too far, or he knows when he's really hurt someone or upset somebody. If he can get past the anger, now the first, when you first upset him, like I have right now, it's going to take a little while. He has to get past the bruised ego, he has to get past his anger, and then he'll calm down, and he'll, reason will hit him, you know um but those first, few days or hours, whatever, how long it takes for him to get past the anger, he's a spitfire during that time.
Yeah, he never stays mad long. Neither of us do. And I mean, we can go from cussing each other out to, "Hey, you want to go get sushi?" Okay. I mean, that's how we get along. And like if I'm getting on to him about some, him when he's showing narcissism, um, when he's on his meds, he will notice it too. But for the most part, it takes a knockdown, drug out fight to get him to admit fault.
Yeah, and because they
It
get
does. He will
so
never, ever, ever say, "Okay, I screwed up," or, "Oh, that's my fault," or, "Oh, I'm sorry, I should have said that differently." It's always our fault. Always, always, always. It's never, ever his fault unless there's a threat thrown in.
and that's how my dad was too. And that it's still abuse when they're like that, and they need to realize that. When my dad was made to go to classes about it, they told him that when you're, hot-headed and all mad and angry, and you're refusing to admit any wrong, and you're yelling and you're screaming, that's still abuse. And whenever you calm down and you start to see, okay, maybe she's right or he's right or whatever, and then I'm so sorry, um you might be at that moment, but if you turn around and do it again and again and again, that is abuse, and it's uncalled for, and you have to learn to stop it. You have to learn to control those emotions. With Ernie, what makes him so dangerous is his posse, because Ernie can get really mad and he'll go for a walk, or he might rant and rave for a minute, and then he'll chill, and then he's all sorry, and he's nice again. But in that time, that period that he's so angry, he runs to his posse and he tells them, and they are the ones who all go and do the dirty work that carries on for months and months and months, because they've done hurt somebody really bad by doxing their family or whatever it is that they do to save Ernie.
Do you think they believe, even, I mean, after all this, all these receipts, do you think they believe still the diehards?
I personally think that they know about his issues and stuff because they hang on to his every word. And he said it too many times for them not to know. I just think that because their love for him, they're highly protective and they will battle for him and do whatever, they think makes him happy at that moment, no matter who it hurts. And they accept him and all his faults without any trying to guide him in the opposite direction.
What I've also read is that they have a unhealthy relationship with their parents, specifically the mother, and that the mother goes back and forth with praise and ridicule, and it confuses the child. And when there's praise, it's to the point of ideation. And when there's ridicule, it's to the point of condemnation. So.
Well, I know with my dad, his dad fought in 2 wars. He had horrible post-traumatic stress disorder to the point where, like, even on, 4th of July, when the fireworks are going off, he would be hiding in his room. He'd be underneath blankets. He'd have music going on, anything he could to try to cover up the sound. And yet he was the most manliest man guy, Mr. Tough guy. And he was such a baby here. And if you dropped something and it made a boom, he was hitting the floor. It was bad. And because of that, he was very abusive to my grandmother. Well, he would be abusive to my dad and his siblings. And my grandmother would be too afraid to go and love them, tell them that it's going to be okay, stop the abuse from taking place because she was so scared herself. So my dad felt like his mom failed him. Like she should have rescued him through those situations and she didn't. So he had a bad relationship with his dad and then a bad relationship with his mom because he didn't understand as a child why she didn't save him from what was happening to him. Now when he got older, he understood it. But, so that's where a lot of his came through. It was just hurt, trauma from his childhood and all that abuse. And then one day his dad is, I'm proud of you, son, and then the next day he's like, I can't even repeat the things that he would say to him. And I've heard it even when he was a grown man. I've heard his dad do that to him.
My mother she would pick one of us. She was really bad about favoritism. And the oldest, which is my oldest sister, she like literally worshiped her when she moved out. And then she got married, had kids. And then I remember my brother's turn. And he joined the military during wartime. It was during the Iran-Contra affair. And she even went down and cussed out the recruiter who came to his high school and recruited him, saying, hell no, you're not taking my son. And he's the only begotten son to carry on our name. And she really put him on this godlike pedestal for me and my other sister. And she had this portrait of him in his dress blues in the middle of the damn living room where the mirror used to be. And she would tell us, oh, he's going to get killed. He's going to get blown up, and really, really created our PTSD and anxiety and social anxiety and anxiety about politics, anxiety about wartime. And she talked about him. She ate, breathed, slept, everything, my brother. And it was ridiculous. And it was like, he become her Jesus. And then he came back and he had a foul mouth because he had been in the military. Mm-hmm. He hadn't been that way before. He wasn't like that before. He was very respectful. And she'd smack him just hard right in the damn face. And humiliated him in front of a lot of people. And it was like she went from your Jesus to your Satan.
Yeah.
And just like that, and that really, I think, screwed him up, It screwed me up as far as how I view my brother, mm-hmm. because he took my father's, role when my dad left us. he filled his shoes. You know, he's the one who taught me stuff. He's the one who took me Christmas shopping. He's the one who paid for it. You know, he was like my dad figure. And when she put him in sort of the Jesus role, that confused a 10-year-old little girl. And I became very hero worship of him. And he became inhuman to me. And that is exactly what they've done to Ernie over there.
Yeah, I agree. Uh-oh. Baby's awake. Good morning. You want to say hi to everybody?
Oh, yay.
Let's see if she'll speak.
I would be kissing all on her all so much.
Say hi. You gonna say hi? She's just looking.
I bet you were loving this.
Come on, baby. Come on. Say hi, Tipsy. You say hi? No? She's just looking all around, looking at the phone. All right, well, gotta get her changed and fed and everything.
Okay.
So I'm gonna pop down.
Well, thank you for coming and answering some more questions. You know, there's going to be more.
Oh, she's got.
You're the only one that we can like pick your brain about Ernie. You know, because you were someone who went real life with him and got to actually meet him. And I don't think a lot of people realize that he's actually little in stature, right?
Yeah, he is. He's a little fella, about same size as my teenage son.
And we made him like bigger than life, didn't we?
Yeah, I think a lot of people did. And, you know, that's fine. You know, I don't think he should be beat down all the time about things, you know.
Yeah, right.
Us women put our makeup on, do our hair, use some filters to feel better about ourselves. So,
Yeah.
You know, kind of the same thing in a way. I mean,
some of it's our fault. Me too. Going, putting him up there, lifting them up on that pedestal. We're the ones that were holding them up.
I just want people to know that, I was not coming on here to do a bash fest on Ernie.
Never. Right.
By you telling my story, how I got involved, not only would it clear up, who I am and how I brought into all of this, but it would also clear up a lot of things about him where people could understand him more. Hold on, baby. Hold on. She's trying to roll over while I'm getting her diaper on. You know how they never stay still at this age. You got to wrestle with them.
I don't hate him at all. And because he's never done that much to me. I mean, he's just hurt my feelings. And so I hurt his back because that's how I am. I get you back. That's just me. I don't respect myself if I don't get you back. I mean, I'm sure tons of people don't agree with me, don't agree with revenge, but I might drop your toothbrush in the toilet. I'll get you back.
What do you want for breakfast? You want bananas? She loves bananas. That's like her favorite thing.
That's one of the things. That's one of the things that I wish that we could do here, is pick with each other. But now it's like you can't say shit.
Well, I said that once before on Jimbo's. Like I heard you saying that whenever I first opened you up this morning. You were saying, why can't people roast each other and have fun with it? Like we all grew up with some hardcore comedy.
Yeah.
People get so offended about everything these days. It's ridiculous.
I don't. I don't.
Can't take the least bit of criticism. And I pick on Jimbo all the time.
I love that. I love that.
And I pick on a lot of my friends like that, and I like it when they pick on me about stuff, and he just laughs. He doesn't get all upset, or he might even go on with it, carry on with it more.
I was joking around with Lips yesterday in one of our chats. I think it was Liberators. I can't remember. But they were giving her, a hard time about the hotel. Maybe it was the Stand. I don't remember, but anyway, she said, this, that, and the other, and sort of how her she rambles. And I said, now, Lips, why don't you go take your Adderall, sit down, and watch a Lifetime Television for Women movie and eat a bowl of cereal? And she messaged me. I said, why did you say that? I was like, come on, everybody knows I've got a quirky sense of humor. You should know that by now. And I said, and you might need Adderall. Sit down. You might need it. Because she goes, I don't take Adderall. I said, bingo.
I guess when, on here in like real life, you kind of have an idea who you're talking to. You can watch their expressions and see what they take and don't take.
Yeah, when you can see them, you can.
On here, it's like you feel like you start getting comfortable with somebody and like them a little bit, but you can quickly find out that you don't.
Yeah. And I was telling Sarah that I said, I interrupt people because I can't see. If I can see y'all like you're getting ready to talk, I can tell that you're getting ready to talk. But when I can't see you guys, of course we're going to talk over each other because I can't see your lips are getting ready to move. So I don't get the whole not showing your face thing. I will never understand that. I mean, I know y'all all have your reasons, but I don't think people care what we look like, makeup or not, hair done or not, or clothes on or gown. They don't care. They're
One of
still
my
here.
reasons why I don't, which I told you before, is because I have a house full of my kids, and just like with Jimbo, when you're watching him, his kids are in and out. That's how they are with me, and I just don't want to put all my children on here. Here, baby. Uh-oh. She's being so quiet this morning, and normally she's up and she's just blah, 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 blah. I wanted you guys to hear her talking. She's saying so many words now.
She's beautiful. And she looks so happy.
She's a happy baby. She's always smiling. She can say everybody's name in the house.
I bet her neck smells like baby.
Yesterday she started saying cat just out of nowhere because we have the cats, and she's like,
I'm bad about wanting to kiss their feet.
Kiss their feet.
Baby feet. Baby feet. I love it. I love little baby feet and their little toe jam. I don't know why. I don't know why.
She like her feet to be touched very much.
Oh, she's sensitive
when it comes to her feet. Like she doesn't. Yeah. If I put socks on her, she takes them off. If I put shoes on her, she takes them off.
Yeah, see, like you knew I was picking about shoes, right?
Picking about.
I remember I was picking about. Yeah, I said I knew that the crime was bad, but they came and stole the baby shoes.
Yeah, she won't leave them for nothing. She's a hillbilly.
Charlie hated shoes because we lived at the beach. He hated shoes. Sand we get in them. He wanted to be barefoot all the time. And then we moved up here. We were on the farm, so it didn't matter. He was barefoot all the time. So, yeah, their little fat rolls. Oh, yeah. So what is going on with are you going to keep her, you think, or has the mother showed any improvement?
She was given she has to get another job, and she has to go to the parenting courses. She had to get on birth control. They gave her a whole list of things that she has to do. She had to get her own place. They want to see her get her own place where she has to pay bills and show that she can do it,
That's scary.
She has to get on the medications that she needs because she's bipolar and has chronic anxiety and things like that.
Oh, wow. Hey, Kelsbells.
So there's just a whole program that she has to do. And then they every so often they do like what they call a staffing or something, and they all get together and all the different workers that are on the case, and see where things are at, what's been done. And then they have to reevaluate to see if they're going to rewrite another temporary placement, if they're going to go for permanent placement, if they're going to try to reintroduce her back to the mother, and
Wow.
we never know like when that's going to happen. It just happened. They just did one yesterday, but they determined that she still needs to remain here.
If you don't mind, can I like compare this to what the boys with the wells might be going through?
Oh, that's kind of what I've been doing because, this is new to me. So I'm, getting to know like how the DCF works and how their investigators work and, how the whole process goes. And it has made me think about the Wells boys a lot.
Yeah, she got a new puppy, Sugar Pie. I posted a little short of it, and her hair's longer and pretty, and she seemed you know I
Now,
think they got her the puppy to cheer her up.
what's going on with her heart? You know?
They didn't talk long last night. It was all about the puppy, and then it was, hey, how you doing? And then it was she put Donnie on camera. He didn't get on the phone, but he, like that. He had just gotten out of the shower, and she said, "We're getting ready to go to bed, so good night." So that was all we got out of her. She didn't talk much last night, so I don't know. But she was on the couch, and she looked like she was in a gown, and her hair looked damp, like she had just had a shower, and she was playing with her new puppy. I posted it as a short if you want to see it, but um I don't know. The more I watch them, don't get mad at me, guys. I'm really wondering if this Marlena or someone like that came up through those woods like they did that bag of potatoes and grabbed her because of a conflict.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've always told you that I believed Candace on, what she told me.
You
And
did.
I saw her get emotional and break down about things. I didn't, I've spoke with her sober. I spoke with her while she was drinking. She doesn't change her story, you know.
Neither does Don. Don doesn't change his story.
And
It's always been somebody came and got her.
yeah,
But I think that they had a conflict with so many people, they don't know which one.
yeah, and she'll admit that she wasn't always the perfect mother, Um, she'll say I could have been better at this, and she eats herself up with that. I saw her do it. Um, but I don't think that she did anything to purposely hurt Summer. And I do think that she believed with all her heart that Summer was snatched. But at the time that when I was talking with her, which is now has been close to almost a year ago, she was convinced that at that time that it was Jody Sue. I don't know if
Right.
Liz or not.
I don't think she thinks it's Jody Sue anymore.
Yeah, I haven't
Donna
watched her.
says that she had to get a pacemaker.
Ooh,
I dropped a link, Sarah, if you want to come up. You think the church is involved, Robin? You know how I feel about that. And I was watching Keep Sweet on Netflix about
mm-hmm.
Warren Jeffs and the whole Keep Sweet. And I can just imagine, because she was, blonde and the most sought after in their circle, because they're very, what's the word? How can I put this without sounding politically incorrect? The FLDS is a Caucasian cult. They want purity,
Wow.
the whitest of white.
You want some baba?
And blonde blue eyes is, right?
I know
Yeah.
that I think it was Polarisis or something, one of those anti-human trafficking organizations. They have a thing on there saying that they're most likely to be taken than any other child because there's like a higher price or something for blue eyes and blonde hair. They're good.
Jackie, you know how they have that Colorado City in Utah, and they are able to shift these girls around so that they go undetected. And I don't know if you saw in that documentary where they moved them when the Olympics came to town so that they wouldn't, mix with, commoners, and find out that they're living in a cult. But it was just the other day I shared footage of Samuel Bateman, who has taken sort of the reins of Warren Jeffs. Warren Jeffs is still in control and is still over the church, and they still, take orders from him. But Samuel Bateman is the one that was in the vehicle with the horse trailer again. This is the third time this man has been picked up with a horse trailer full of young girls. And he had traveled as far as Pennsylvania. Okay, so yeah, I could see where Tim Mullins would go, "Hey, buddy, I got you a blonde. I'll be there tonight." I could see that happening. Better put my allegedly up.
Sarah,
Wednesday.
Gypsy, Sarah coming up in a minute.
Oh, I'm looking. Sarah, are you coming up now? I don't think she's replied to me yet. I dropped a link for you if you want to come up. FL is huge for trafficking, and we have the biggest Scientology church in Tampa. I think there's a connection that, wow, I do too. Because they were just too enmeshed in their life at the time, and they're not usually. Yes, he is. They think he's the Messiah. I mean, I think they really believe that he's the second coming of God.
Mm.
He still arranges who's going to marry who from prison. They just worship this man, and they think that they think that he's come under fire like Jesus did.
Yeah, and don't they like
There's Sarah.
all their money too? Like
Hey.
or not all their money, but like 10 or 20% of their money every month, even when he's in jail.
Yep. Yeah, they don't own anything. They had to give it all to him.
What? All right. So I missed a few things going in and out because somebody was collecting, something that I made for them. Came over to pick something up. It says one of the officers was busted setting it up on the dark web. What were they caught? What's that about?
Go back to her comment. It says there's so many trafficking groups in that area and police officers involved with it lately. Are you talking about Utah? Or are you talking about there where the boys live? I think she's talking about the boys.
Oh, that's
Tennessee. I bet it's Tennessee.
Matt Gates. I know who that is.
Hey, Blackwing Paranormal. Thank you for coming.
What? Matt Gates is involved with it? I follow him on Twitter. Involved with it, like in the bad side, but involved with it, or he's trying to stop
I
it?
know, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to figure out which one.
What? Did Mimi put a bone in that bottle? She keeps like while she's drinking her bottle.
Oh.
For the baby you don't have.
You add cereal?
No, this one is just an apple juice bottle with her teeth and biscuits. But I think she's trying to drink it so fast.
I remember those teeth and biscuits. Oh, they make a
Make it all
mess.
looking like a big mush.
Yeah.
They taste good though.
And graham crackers.
Well, isn't he the one that was involved with underage girls, like 15-year-olds and stuff? Because actually, it's all coming back to me now.
Oh, really? He
Yeah.
was?
Gates. Yeah. It's actually,
Yeah.
the info came out a while ago when I was following closer to the political stuff. And then I took a dive out of it because people, in my opinion, people get too wrapped up in it, and it creates a lot of tension.
It could have been a
Friendships.
setup, but he fell for
No,
it.
I'm pretty sure it was proven, but I can't remember. I'm gonna think about that for a minute. It will come back to me because now it's starting to.
Okay,
He's
no, this
getting
is starting
charged.
to sound like Democratic
That's why I don't talk
propaganda.
about it. That's why, yeah,
Not you.
that's why I took a dive right back out of politics stuff because I don't like what happens with friendships.
Yeah, I know, right?
People get too heated.
They sure do, don't they?
Yeah.
Well, what I was saying was, this morning when I saw, everybody wanting to quit, I mean, you give me your take on this. Why aren't we just storming the cockpit? Why are we, just walking away like that?
How would you even storm the cockpit on it? I mean, there's so many people who've already put truth out there and said their opinions, and there's clip channels showing things, and it doesn't stop it.
No, because
We
people don't
call her
watch the
we
full thing.
we call her mama. It worked in Love After Lockup. She rolled up, didn't she, Sarah?
I haven't seen that.
I mean, you never know. You need to tell your mama on you. Does she know you're acting like this out here under her good name?
And that might work on me. Don't
It would
call
have
my
worked
mom.
on me. It would have worked on me too.
Please don't call my mom. Just
Don't
put me over
tell
her knee.
my mama.
Go ahead and call mine. I don't give a shit. You're not
You
gonna
know, beat
like
me
it.
with that flip flop again.
Oh, my mom might go off on the person who called tattletelling on me, but then she turned around and put me over her knee. So
But seriously, when we were kids, it was like, I'm gonna go tell your mama. When people were being brats on the playground and they were, being bullies, isn't that what we did then?
Well,
well,
one time
It's
somebody did
the
come to
only
my
thing we
door.
tried.
Someone did come to my door once, actually with their mom to tattle on me. It was their mom and boy. Are you kidding me?
That's so
Like,
funny.
well, I beat him up because he was messing with me, and it was all boys in my neighborhood. So I beat beat him up, and mess with me. I ripped up his clothes and everything, and he went and told his mom, and his mom came to my door with his, both of them to tattle on me. But I didn't get in trouble anyway.
we
I
didn't
got
really
the
have.
idea from when I had randomly Ash and you and Mama T, and we were all fighting, and randomly Ash goes, Gypsy, where's your husband? I was like, right here,
That was
right
all
here.
I did. It's all ridiculous now.
Don't
I,
tell
I
on
apologize.
me.
I apologize to her for, 'cause I was invested in Tiger.
Oh yeah, I apologize. She's great. I really like her a lot. I love her
We both
shows
said
too.
each other. I'm
She had
over it.
a very heart. She was opening up about her trauma
Yeah.
and her childhood yesterday. It broke my heart.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh wow, I'm gonna have to go watch that. I don't think I've ever watched any of her videos, so I'm gonna have to check them
I
out.
like her a lot. I do. But and I like that she was like getting on to me with humor, and then it was like, I'm sorry about all that. And she was very humble. I love that about people. Don't
Yeah.
hold grudges.
Yeah.
That's no fun.
Right? I'll tell you though,
That's
we didn't
no damn
go
fun.
and
I just
tell
want to
on
have fun.
our friends' parents to them very much because where I grew up, most of the parents were into spanking, and we never really got mad enough at each other. We wanted to see them get spanked, So we tried to handle things ourselves.
Right,
I don't
right. Oh,
ever
yeah.
telling.
Right.
Ooh, I
Do y'all
remember my
remember potato 2, potato 3, potato 4? Do y'all remember that?
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I remember once my best friend, she called 911 and she was prank calling them. And I don't know what
Oh,
gave her the
Lord.
idea. She was like 9 to do it, but she told us that she did it. And I'm like, you're going to be in so much trouble. They're going to come to the house. And of course they come out because of the call. And after they left, we all heard her getting a spanking. Every house around there did. She really got in big trouble.
No fear. My mama beat my ass. My dad was a cop, but all he had to do was look at me wrong, and he would ground me. And I guess because he walked tall with a big iron on his hip, I behaved. But with my mom, I knew I could like push her buttons and get by with shit. She was mentally ill, so fuck with her. But I was a kid, so she would beat us. I mean, belt and all, but that was her mental illness, So
She's got teeth and biscuits stuck to her nose. Yeah, I didn't mess with my dad. My dad would snatch me up for nothing. But my mom, I would definitely push her buttons until she gave me that look. And then I knew to quit because my mom would grab me up by my hair. That was her thing. She grabbed me up by my hair and she put my face like right to her face and she talked through her crunched teeth, and she said, "You're on the last nerve," and I knew, leave mom alone at that point.
Wow.
Uh-oh. Another bone in it? She keeps getting all these bones in her juice.
No fear. Or order a pizza for the neighbor. We did that.
Now people DoorDash the pizzas.
Yeah.
Instead of cranking the pizzas, they have DoorDash bring it.
I remember my daughter was fighting with one of the neighbors. I think she was like, I don't know, 12 maybe. And I caught her ordering like 20 pizzas to this apartment. I was like, Amanda! I was like, what are you going to do? It was already too late, though. It was on the damn way. I was like, this is so funny. Let's go get the neighbors and watch.
Jackie Gooch says she's always grounded.
No, but seriously, I asked Coco this the other day. I was like, it was said in a chat that the common denominator, his mother is a retired Marine. Well, my brother is a Marine, and he beat my damn ass like my daddy never did because he played as a role as my father. He disciplined me. He, make me go get a twitch or switch or whatever it's out of the plant. And until I realized if I just keep walking and I walk around the block for a little while, they'll forget about it and I won't get a spanking. And pretty much that worked for me a lot. But for the most part, I'm like, why aren't we calling this Marine? Why aren't we telling this Marine what this person is doing, right? I bet they don't know. And I bet they help.
I was acting up at a restaurant one time. I think it was like 7, maybe 8. And, my dad was like, "I'm going to beat your butt when we get home, girl." And I knew I was going to get it. I was in trouble. And so normally that would scare me. I'd just be quiet, because I'd be so scared knowing that it was coming. But that day, I don't know what was up with me. I had a little spunk to me. So on the car home, I was like, "Daddy, you don't want to have to spank me." It can't make you happy to have to spank me, and then you make me cry, and then I'm sad, and I was telling him, and I was just going on and on about it. By the time I got home, he's like, "Just go to your room."
That was a good guilt trip. God's watching. Oh, man. My mom, when she was, passing with her dementia and lung cancer, I didn't see her for a while. Amanda had gotten killed, and we had the trial, and I was living at the beach, and she was in, whatever kind of care old people get. And I didn't get to see her much. I could call her, but for the most part, she was kind of drugged up. And so when I came to town to see her, the staff made a big deal out of it. We didn't even know she had children. And she said to them, when I'm asked about my children and why they don't visit me, I have 5 children and they don't visit me. And my answer is, I guess I was a bitch. So in her old age and as she was dying, she knew. She knew. I guess you sit there day after day, year after year, and everybody's getting Christmas and Mother's Day and Easter, and nobody ever came for you. There's a reason why 5 kids didn't come see your ass.
And that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Many of us have thought this same thing. Blackwing Paranormal.
Sorry, guys.
Right there.
From the police to judges to social. If you know your experience, how very real this is, and how, for example, Lawson. Yeah, especially now that we found out about his son.
Yeah, come on now.
I would want him pulled off the case. There's somebody over him.
I guarantee it's being investigated now. 19 years suspended. Hello.
Yeah, me and my mom and sisters, we got in knockdown, drug out, pulling hair, biting, scratching each other with our fingernails, knockdown, drug out fights with my mom.
Good.
I guess it's probably how I learned how to fight.
Not me. I never raised a hand to my mom. My mom would have killed me.
I had to survive. She'd have killed us.
Yeah.
I get it.
She would have. She would have.
Jackie Gooch said she used to sneak out of her basement window from the attic. It took her 20 minutes to creep down all the squeaky stairs.
I have a sister that I don't have anything to do with, and I don't have anything to do with not because I don't love her or hate her or we've had a falling out, but it's because she's like Ernie, and I can't. I don't have the patience. I just don't have the damn patience for it. It gets on my nerves, and sometimes we fight because if you don't believe them, they get angry and violent. And the last time I saw her, she was growing hemlock.
Robin.
Y'all know what hemlock is, don't you?
Hemlock? No.
Y'all don't know what hemlock is?
I don't think so.
It kills you. If you make a tea with hemlock, it'll kill you. It's what they gave Romeo and Juliet.
That's the. I was trying to think where it came from, like a weed.
It's like the sleepy time death tea that you make with it. So she's like, "Have some tea." I'm like, "Bye."
There's a lot of
It's
herbs.
nice seeing you. Hey, Nano for Life. Good to see you.
My sister, I'm very close with. My younger sister is like my best friend. But my older sister is like what you were just talking about with your sister. I never know if I can believe what she's saying or not. She's very dramatic, and attention seeker.
I hope my sister doesn't see this because I don't want to hurt her feelings. But she's just, it's like she's like my mom, transient, and sometimes if she's not on her meds, she becomes transient, and like she just took off, and we found her in a
I don't know if there's anything mentally wrong with my older stepsister. I don't think so. I think she's just very dramatic. She's just loud. She's one of those people like, she just talks really loud and everything, and she talks really fast, and everything's always like she has to top her next story every time you see her,
Yeah. Libby, she just decided to go live in a homeless camp in LA and videotape it. And she had a YouTube channel. And I'm like, why are you doing that? I mean, it's dangerous, and you've got kids and stuff. She didn't have the kids with her, but the point is, you've got kids back home. What the hell are you out here doing? And she just lived among these homeless people and documented it.
Is there
like
up?
Huh?
Is their channel still up?
I don't know. I haven't even looked.
Wow.
It's called People Like Us.
It just sounds interesting, like just with stuff going.
Yes, she interviewed homeless people. It's called People Like Us.
You know what state the camp?
She was in LA.
That's what I was wondering, if it was Cali. Okay.
Yeah, she's back in North Carolina now and living in Asheville, and seems to be happy. But it took a lot of frog kissing to find the right meds,
Mm-hmm. Can take
Same
years.
here. I mean, it took me 40 years to find the right meds. I mean, they thought I had depression, and every time they would give me antidepressant pills, they made me manic. And it took years for them to realize, oh, she has bipolar mania. That's why she's getting manic
Mm.
and beating people up. Usually my ex-husband. But it's sad because we probably would have worked out if I had found the right meds back then.
Mm-hmm.
Because we were both movers and shakers, and during that time when people were yuppies and climbing the corporate ladder, we were both very ambitious, and it's sad. If I could have found the right meds, we probably would have worked things out. But such is life, right?
When
Right.
did they start like prescribing meds for things like bipolar and depression? Like when did
They
it
start they
switch
started
over?
giving me mine when my sister, she jumped off Pilot Mountain. She didn't die, but she broke her back, and it was in the paper, and it was a big deal. And it's like every traumatic event in our family hits the damn paper. So that's another reason why I doxed myself. They're gonna know who I am. She jumped off Pilot Mountain, or people call it Mount Pilot, and fell 75 feet and broke
What?
her back. She was airlifted and never walked again. And so then she unalived herself with let me put this up here first.
That's insane. I never knew this.
She unalived her. This is my oldest sister with a bag. She put on clothes, makeup, the whole bit, and then she did it. And it was over Easter. And all her family is in Thailand. She had married a doctor from Thailand, and so she was like in a convalescent home because she broke her back and couldn't walk. She couldn't fly. I mean, she was learning, how to live like this. And so her children were over here, her husband was over here, and she was going through the worst psychosis of her life. And she, just decided to end that. But what was the point I was making?
Well, I asked you when did they start because
Oh yeah, okay. So that was in 1993. I
okay.
would have been 23. They put me on. I want to say it was 19 that I started Zoloft first, and then it was Paxil, and then it went to Prozac. And Prozac changed my life because I had a couple of suicide attempts. And the suicide attempt I had that was the most traumatic. It's a long story, but I had moved to Oregon to marry my fiance at the time, and then I caught him cheating on me. And I had given up my job, my apartment, I had moved my child, everything, to find out this guy was a piece of shit. And I was like, I can't do this. My sister just did this. I'm gonna do this. And I found some Percodan, not Percocet, because this is like in the 90s, and his medicine, and I took them all. And I don't know how I wound up in a ditch on the highway. I don't know how I got there, but
Yeah.
the paramedics got me and put me in. And the guy was really good looking. And he was like, I just went through this with my fiance. And I was like, hello. And he made me realize I might meet somebody else. Like it never occurred to me that I was worthy of someone else because we had been together 2 years, I think. And so it was like on the way to the hospital, I was starting to see things in a different perspective. But they put me on Prozac, and I was ready to get out of there. I mean, it really put my head back in gear, and I could sit down and read a book, something that I hadn't been able to do. So it really got my anxiety and PTSD under control, but it didn't fix my mania. So by the time I got home and reacclimated myself, got my job back, got my apartment back, believe it or not. And then it was right after all that I met my first husband. And so it was like I was still trying to go through mourning my sister and a lot of trauma. And maybe if I had, found the right medication, I wouldn't have been so volatile. And I don't think he understood. It was like, why is she behaving like this? Why don't I make her happy? It had nothing to do with him. Absolutely nothing to do with him. I was dealing with my own bullshit, and it's just sad because, my daughter would probably be alive if we had worked out.
My dad, when he finally started opening up and realizing that he had issues, he said that when in his younger days, you didn't talk about having any kind of depression or, just bipolar stuff or, anything like that, because they would just throw you into an insane asylum. Like they didn't really try to, there wasn't the medication like we have now. Like they thought, oh, he's got issues, something seriously wrong with him. And you just get, you don't go to your doctor and tell them that you're feeling anger or you're feeling sad or, things like that. So I was kind of wondering, like, when did it switch over from them doing stuff like that to people to trying to give people medications?
Okay, they had to put me on medication because I was psychotic. And so they had to. Um like I was, if I can explain it, when they put me on the Paxil, I was thinking, I looked up to my sister, and she was sort of like, she's the one who went to college, the one that was pretty, the one that was fit in with the high society, and I wanted to be just like her. And then when she died, it was like I lost, my hero, and I was romanticizing dying,
Mm.
and I had a child that I couldn't romanticize that for much longer. And so when I went and got on Paxil, that was to keep my brain from doing that. I don't know how it works, but it does. And I was able to pull out of that dark pit of hell that you fall in, the extreme lows and the extreme highs. My extreme highs were partying, promiscuity, and violence. That's how my mania would present. And then my depression would present, I want to walk out in front of this bus, you know?
Mm.
And like Ken has pulled me back from doing that, pregnant. And he, would go get me help. Well, my first husband tried to go get me help, but I don't think he understands mental illness, even though he has it in his family. His sister is bipolar and schizophrenic, and his mother is schizophrenic. But I don't think that he understands mental illness. I don't know. I can't explain it. It's like he doesn't think it's a good excuse.
Yeah, well, I think there needs to be lots of awareness on mental illness and the different types and symptoms and stuff, because I think even here in 2023, a lot of people don't quite grasp mental illness, and
Right.
that's why a lot of people are bullied and harassed and, tortured for being different, but especially not, back in those days.
I want to read this. Okay. Donna says Prozac is an old drug. It's been around a long time. It's good for brain injury patients. It's a great mood stabilizer. I had researched it and asked the doctor to put my son on it, and he's not been violent. Very true. The only problem with that is it didn't do anything for my mania.
Yeah.
And they wanted to dope me up for my mania and put me on Seroquel, and I was like drooling on the side of my mouth, and I wasn't productive. I mean, I felt like if I'm going to be doped up for the rest of my life, I'm going to end it, because that's not living. And so, like I said, I had to kiss a lot of frogs. And Donna, I'm on an extremely old one called Triliptal. I have a real low
Oh, I know that.
tolerance to medication, and I'm allergic to every damn thing. And so when I tried so many, so many, so many. And finally, I went to this old doctor, and I mean old, he just retired. He said, have you ever tried Triliptal? I said, I've never heard of it. He said, I think I'm going to try you on that. And it's worked. I mean, I still have my anxiety that I deal with. I still have my agoraphobia that I deal with. And my agoraphobia is why I wanted Ernie to get out and go do things, because I was living vicariously through him. And it's like ever since Amanda became addicted, I couldn't leave the house because something might happen. They're going to call me and tell me she's OD. And only they called me to tell me she was shot. So it was like, and I still feel that way. And now he's down there, her son. I'm doing it all over again. I'm worried all the time because that town, Ask Beth, is very, very, very dangerous. And so my agoraphobia is back. I'm afraid to leave. He might call. Something might happen.
Yeah. Well,
And I don't think there's a pill for that.
you
I
know
don't
that
think there's
you
a
can
pill
always
for that.
call me or reach out to me anytime you're going through it, and I'll talk with you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Can't get your mind out of that. Mountain
But
Girl, I'll put you on the prayer list, darling.
I missed her.
She's got the big C and having difficulty breathing, and
Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, I have a Jackie, I have a 13-year-old that is, and I'm going through, I don't know if it's hormones or what, but the mood swings are just like his mood swings, mine, and then my husband's dementia. It's like,
Bella wants to
it's
speak.
unreal. Oh, hey there, baby. Hey there, baby.
Hey, the vet wanted to put my dog on freaking Prozac.
Really?
I've had a dog on Prozac and it worked.
Well, my first thought was, wait, what did you just say? It's like I had
They have anxiety.
Oh, it's through the roof. This dog, he's attached to my hip. Like I took him to the beach yesterday. You know what I mean? I just love him so much. I've always been with him that now I think I created it that he can't be without me. You know what I mean? He's always got to.
Oh,
He guards us at the bathroom door. When my son's on the toilet in the bath, he won't leave that bathroom door and he won't let anyone in the bathroom. You know what I mean? He's so dedicated, but now it's a high anxiety too if I leave him. So, but I thought it's weird. I don't. The problem I have with that is like much with my son. When you give somebody that can't talk or express their side effects, I don't want to give them a drug that could give them horrible side effects. And a dog can't tell you, oh, this is making me feel weird. You know what I mean? So I think I'm just gonna not do that. I don't know how it's gonna make him feel.
Is Alicia still here?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, right here, this is another thing about my husband. I don't think he's a full-on narcissist or he wouldn't be like this.
Where is it?
Like when he knows I'm psychotic, he's wonderful. He keeps me from killing myself. I mean, he does. He goes and he gets me help. It sounds so simple, but a lot of people don't do that. They don't call that number. And he does. Every time he's like, you're not thinking right. And I know that I'm not thinking right. I can actually see my eyes are dilated and I don't sleep and my mind is racing and I'm thinking very paranoid.
Yep.
And my perception of reality is distorted.
Mhm.
And I tell him I need to go and he takes me. And it's just like that, and they get my meds straight, and sometimes you just need a break from life.
See, now that's a good husband.
You do seem like a good team, despite the things. It seems like you guys got a good thing.
Yeah,
He's got
he's
your back.
kept me alive.
He's got your back. That's what I feel like.
There's an understanding between the two. You know that he's got some issues. He knows you have some issues, and you help each other through it. You're honest with him. You tell him your feelings. He's there for you when you need him. I mean, you can't really ask for much more than that.
No.
No.
I know. So I try to be patient when the volatile times come, and I try to understand. And I think to myself, I used to be like that. That used to be me. 20 years ago when we first met, I was like that. I was wigging out and I was throwing shit and I was cussing and screaming until I found the right meds. And I don't do that anymore. But I had a heart attack too. And the heart attack told me I ain't losing my shit over that. I am not going to lose my shit over that. And you'll feel a sting in your heart when you're getting too excited. And I should probably talk to Jamie about this, but I know I need to just go sit down, watch a movie, and or change the music on the radio or whatever. But I'm not going to have a heart attack over trivial petty bullshit, you know?
Yep, that's right.
Jackie Gooch, that's not corny, honey, because I have a lot of trauma and stuff from my background too, and getting close to God is what's brought me out of all of it. There's been days where something comes rushing back, I get triggered from something, a memory or something comes back, and I just want to break down, and I just go in my room, shut the door, get on my knees, and pray through. It gets me strong every time.
When I was a teenager, my best friend was Pentecostal. I grew up Southern Baptist, where you shut up and you sit down.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was totally different. And she got me to where I can't help but raise my hands when I'm talking to God now. I don't know. I feel like I'm.
I grew up in both too, because my mom was, Southern Baptist, Independent Baptist. My dad was charismatic Pentecostal. And we had to kind of go back and forth. Like sometimes we'd go to mom's church, sometimes we'd go. They had an agreement with each other,
That's awesome. I love you too, guys. Robin and Sugar Pie, I love you too. Thank you guys for being here. Y'all are why I come do this. It's worth it. We get to be with y'all. All them trolls can kiss my butt. I'll send them some hemlock tea.
And to me, this is what YouTube it should be about. Community coming together. We're sharing our thoughts, ideas, experiences, our stories. We're supporting one another. That's what the platform is for, I feel, to me anyway.
Not to be corny, but when I got close to God, I was able to break trauma bond from my abuser and much more stable emotionally. And that is so true. I mean, that is so true. Like when I was, in a bad way, I was in my 20s and I had gone through, a bad divorce. My career had gotten screwed up because of the divorce and me making stupid choices. But I remember being in a bad way, and I was living in a trailer next to a railroad track. And when I would listen to that Southern rock song, Train, Train, Lord, get me on out of this town. Man, I couldn't sing that loud enough. I was like, God, get me out of Gaston fucking County. Please, God. Because there was drugs everywhere. You cannot get clean there. And they give it to you. You don't even have to have fucking money. They come and bring it to you. Just let me sit on your couch and we'll smoke, and or drink. For me at the time, it was alcohol was what was bringing me down. And the people that were around me that would let me drink were lowlifes. Because if they had any character or integrity, they would say, don't do that, Cynthia, and so I was hanging out with lowlifes, the people that wouldn't give me shit or hold me accountable for what I was doing. And I knew that. I knew I was making bad choices, but I didn't know where I was supposed to be,
Yeah.
My daughter had moved in with her boyfriend and she was having a baby, and I had lost Philip, in the divorce. And so it was like I talked to him the whole way I was walking to work and the whole way walking home. I was like, God, oh my God. I was like talking to God the entire time. And if I hadn't had that faith, that foundation, I don't know where I'd be. But they would say to me, you don't belong here. What are you doing here? You don't even look like you belong here. And I would chuckle to myself and say, there's going to come a time when y'all wonder whatever happened to her. Most of them are dead now. from ODing or getting shot. Most of them are dead now, except for my grandson's grandmother, and she's doing well and as you know, of course, matured since our 20s, and you know, now we're gray headed and all, and we look back at it and it's like, wow, how did we survive that in this town? You know, I mean,
Most of
I
my
don't know.
ex-husband's friends are all passed away or in prison now. And I was talking to him, which I don't talk to him very often, you know, just once in a while he'll call. And we have a friendship, I guess you could say. Like, he knows he can call and talk to me when he needs to. And it wasn't long ago he called and talked to me and he's like, you know, I'm 40 now. And he's like, everyone from my past, you know, all my friends I grew up with, everyone I knew and loved is gone. They're
It's
either
gone.
passed away or they're in prison. He's like, I've never felt so lonely in my whole life. Yeah. And you get to that age, you know, your family members start to pass away, you know, your grandparents and stuff, and his mother's not in great health. And he's
I
been
love
really
you too,
good.
Donna. Thank you. I appreciate that. That really makes me feel so good. Thank you, guys.
Hey, tattoos.
Hey, tattoos. I can relate to this conversation, your situation. Everyone know you're never alone. That's awesome. Thank you. There's
It's
the hands in the air. I'm just kidding. I can't help it. I gotta. Especially that song. I mean, because let me tell you, there were two homeless guys that would sleep and lean up against my trailer. And at first, it spooked me because I could hear their bottles clanging right up against my headboard at night.
Oh,
And then they came and tapped on the door one day and said, "Do you mind if we have a little water?" And I said, "You know, why don't y'all come on in?" I gave them a sandwich. I let them shower. And then they started kind of being my security. When they were out there sleeping, they would look out for me because I told them I don't feel safe here all by myself in this trailer park. And they would look out for me. They have both been. One was stabbed to death and one was shot.
oh.
mm,
So you showed them compassion, and in turn, they had your back.
They had my back. They did. And one had a big goiter on his neck. And I remember talking to him. He's like, people won't talk to me. People won't even speak to me. They won't look at me. And
uh-huh.
that broke my friggin' heart, man. I said,
Yeah.
won't you have that shit taken care of? And he was like, because I don't have insurance. And I was like, oh, you know, you
Well,
take things for granted like that, you know? And I
Does
was
it
like,
feel
oh, I
like
didn't
you
realize
guys
that.
that what used to be like the bad parts of town are growing and taking over, the nicer parts of town? It's like everywhere you go now, and this fentanyl thing, is out of control.
yep.
I mean, we had it was, I don't know if it was last weekend or early this week, I don't know, the days all go together, but some 21-year-old guy, possibly, they don't know for sure, but they think that he's a suspect in killing 11 people in Lakeland.
Holy
And
cow.
so they were after him because he's a suspect, and he ran from the cops right into a restaurant that's been here for forever, since I was a kid. And then he got out, tried to get into another vehicle, and they had to shoot and kill him, just 21 years old. And they found
God.
all this drugs and all this money on him, and in the little town in my county, that's always just been like a little hillbilly redneck town. Nothing really ever happens there, and it's now starting to get overrun with all of this.
Well, I will put on for my city. It was like that 20 years ago in my city. Now, I don't know what has transpired, but they've revitalized downtown. And when you go and read reviews about our city, you will always see it say clean, no graffiti, clean. It's neat. And I have to put on for my city. I think I have to contribute that to be because there's 7 colleges in my city. I
Mm-hmm.
think that that's because they're educated and they're civilized. And I think that you have to teach civilization through sociology and psychology. I really do. Because I don't think people are just born with how to act. They don't. They don't. we have to be
Rock,
trained,
Rockin' Robin said Florida is so bad, and it used to be always like South Florida, like surrounding Miami and all of that. It's always been bad. And the more like farming, orange groves, country part of Florida was all like where everybody escaped to get away from all of that. But now it's like everywhere.
I feel lucky. And like when I went to look up how many homeless were in the county that we just moved out of, we were the only ones. One. It was us. Gagan County, North Carolina, has 0 homeless.
Wow.
I hope you feel better, my girl. I know that stuff stinks twice. It's awful.
Okay, Mountain Girl, I understand. What is your town, Donna? You don't have to say. Rockin' Robin is in South Florida. I heard Lakeland has gotten horrible in Florida.
It has, and for a long time, Polk County was like the meth capital of the world.
Polk County. I hear
But
about it on the YouTube all the time.
yeah, but then Greg Judd came in, and it calmed down a lot. But now we've had so many people move down. I mean, they're building nonstop, constantly. We don't even have the cow pasture, orange groves that we used to have because it's just houses, houses, houses. And there's so many people, and they have brought the drugs. I want to move.
There was a boy, I don't know if it was here in North Carolina or not, but there was a boy, I think they said 13, because he stole a car and the homeowner shot him. That was for street cred. The other kids that were in the car with him ran. I'm thinking that's gang. Somebody trying to get in the gang, right?
Mm-hmm. That's what it sounds like.
That's why I think we need those church community centers again, like we had in the 70s.
I get like someone breaking into your home with a weapon and stuff, and you have to protect yourself, But shooting somebody because they are running off with your car
or your wallet or your purse, let it
Yeah.
go. It's not worth a human life. Some people think it is. I don't. My brother really put that in perspective for me with my daughter. They all sat down with us and they're like, well, your daughter was involved in they were, Percocets and drugs and this and that and the other. And my brother said, whatever she was doing, it did not justify her death.
Absolutely not.
And I was like, oh, okay, good. Because he had me like, oh, I guess you're right. She was being bad. He had me like thinking that way. And then my brother spoke up and I was like, wait, you're right. So stealing a purse or, having a pissing contest between men, that's not worth a life. And that's what happened that night. They were a bunch of men having a pissing contest over 5 damn pills. So I have seen that it's fentanyl now. Back then it was Percocets and now it's fentanyl. Is that what it is? And I've seen this show, the one that's in Kensington, Pennsylvania. I hope I'm saying that right. And then the one that's in Arizona. I think it's called what's it called? Something, the Faces in the Streets or something like that. And fentanyl causes your lower extremities to swell. And they would look all normal up here, and then the camera would scan, and they got bigger and bigger and bigger,
It
and
does
just
what?
misshaped fentanyl, and makes your lower extremities swell. And their legs were all weird and huge and
I've
painful.
never heard of that in my life. Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah,
Tangles?
watch those shows. Watch those shows.
So is fentanyl like new? Is it like a new drug that they made or what?
They call it blues. They call it blues. Yes. I mean, you would think of Prince, someone who's rich and can get good medical help couldn't, get past an OD, you ain't going to.
It's insane how many like musicians and Hollywood people and stuff OD. Like people like us, we're all like, man, can't even imagine a life of having unlimited amounts of money and living in a mansion and being able to do what we wanted anytime we wanted, and then these people live the dream and then,
I don't know. I mean,
drugs.
it's just like, people that have celebrity that come in here and create havoc and then they leave. I don't get it. Why aren't you like in the Bahamas? Why aren't you like doing something else? I mean, to me, this is like, I'm doing this because I'm agoraphobic. I'm not doing this because there isn't anything I'd rather be doing in the world. I mean, and if you have those means, why aren't you going and doing them?
Yeah, I would love to like drop everything and just travel and go see, all kinds of things. I've only been to a few states in Puerto Rico.
Oh, really?
I want to see.
I guess I got lucky with the job I had in my 20s, and I was able to see most of them. And then I got to go to Canada. I got to go to Alaska, Mexico, and Puerto Rico.
Oh, my husband wants to go to Alaska so bad. He watches.
You'll love it. You will love it. Go during the summer.
I don't
I
know.
got family there, and I don't go.
You love it. The sun never goes down in the summer.
That's
I remember
I
it
don't
being like 2:00 in the morning at a bar, thinking, "What time is it? I gotta,
disoriented.
meet somebody tomorrow at 10 a.m. and it's like 2:00 in the morning." I'm like, "Wait a minute, it looks like 7.
You got your
Looks like
light though.
7, huh?"
3 hours of darkness for some of the season, and then it's the reverse. Like in the winter, it would kill me with the seasonal stuff. Like you got 3 hours of daylight. Like how do you get ready and get your kids out to school in the dark? Like
That's what I
that's
asked
how
my
it is.
sister. My
Hell
sister
no.
lived there for a while, and I was like, "What do you do? Come on in. It's getting dark."
Like how do you feel awake enough to go? I mean, just imagine sending your kids on the bus in the dark and going to work and trying to
Yeah,
wake up. Nope. And then in the summer, you got to get everybody has to get those room darkening curtains because you got only 3 hours of
that's
darkness. I mean,
right. That's right. And they're real heavy too.
party on, I guess. If that,
Yeah, all the hotels have those curtains. They're real friggin' heavy, or you won't sleep. I mean, if you're not, I mean, if like, what is it? What is it called when you're solar energized? That's me. If I see the sun, I can't sleep.
When
So
my daughter,
yeah,
and she said, "Mommy, do you know that all the vampires live in Alaska because it stays dark for so long?" I'm like,
high
"No."
voices.
How do you know? And she's like, "I just know." It freaked me out.
Maybe she's one.
hey voices, thanks for coming. I think you're right, Donna. And they're using it for, if your life is that bad, I mean, even when I was like not living right, I wasn't that bad. I mean, I still maintained. I still had a budget. I didn't like blow my budget for crap. I didn't do that. And like I ask people, what does it mean to give up? What does that even mean? I mean, how do you just like stop paying your bills? I mean, how do you like? I don't know. Do you know? I don't grasp that concept because you still have to be, you still have to exist. So what does that even mean? So like when you're going and doing that, isn't your conscience saying this might be it? This might be the last time I ever do this? I would be terrified. I'd be thinking that every single time I did it. And then like back when it was what was it, crack and was that the one that rotted your teeth out or meth? Whatever. I'm too vain for that shit. I've got all my teeth and I've never had a cavity. Look. Never. So I'm like, it's because I used to work for a dentist, I'm sure, and I'm like, OCD about my teeth. But my point is, I'm too vain to do a drug that's gonna make me uglier.
Never ever even tried any of it, so I don't know. But from hearing other people's stories, I assume that just once you get try it for fun or whatever, and then you get addicted, and then before you know it, it's like all your mind thinks about, and that's
But
why
to me, fun is like going to the lake and water skiing, or going to the mountains hiking and getting a good picture. I mean, what is fun about you're just going to go to sleep? So take a Benadryl. I don't get it.
I don't
I
know.
don't get it. I don't get
Maybe
it.
people who have like mental problems, like what you were talking about earlier, where you were talking about, wanting to unalive yourselves at time and stuff because of what you're going through. Maybe it's people like that that just can't live with themselves, and they're just depressed and sad with their life. So, they get to that point where, well, this makes me feel good for a while, and I can kind of live in this little fantasy land in my head. And if it kills me, it kills me.
Okay, so is that the definition of giving up?
I would say so.
Has Ernie?
Oh, I don't know. I hope not. I still have hope that he'll wake up
If
from it.
he's not taking his meds right, isn't that giving up?
Well, I mean, with him, I think that he just at times doesn't realize, like, he thinks he's feeling good, he's doing good, he's thinking clearly, and at that time, he thinks there's just nothing wrong with him. He had a bad moment because some stresses in his life, some trolls bothered him, but he's doing good now until the next episode. I don't think he realizes it's coming from him. I think he puts the blame on everybody else of why he goes through what he goes through.
Right, I know. And I really think that just like we were, there are people convinced that that's true.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But we were too. I mean, my husband cried that day he got tased, and then
Oh,
he called and raised hell. He was like, my friend just got tased, because he followed Ernie just like I did and fell in love with him just like I did and believed in him just like I did. And it crushed him just like it did me as we figured it out, as we were peeling the layers back and figuring it out. Because he would come to me and say, this kind of reminds me of when I would watch wrestling. And he would say, are you sure that this isn't, a script? And I was like, I don't know if it is or not. Help me figure this out. And each day it was a different decision,
Yeah. Well, it was kind of hard to figure out what was real and what was the script. And, even Ernie himself, I don't think always knew.
Right.
But I cried when he got tased too. That was awful to watch.
I feel naive.
Well, the way I see it, never feel bad for having a heart, and wanting to believe in the best in someone.
You asked a question last night. You said, no, it's scripted and this, that, and the other. And you said it shouldn't matter because it was entertaining. I don't think it was entertaining. I think it was almost like it played on our PTSD. Like we weren't loyal friends if we weren't there every day. That doesn't mean we liked what we watched.
I mean, if he's transparent and he says this is reality entertainment, this is all a movie, you don't know what's coming tomorrow, blah blah blah, and everybody's aware that that's what's taking place, then you
We
can
weren't
feel it all.
aware though. That's what ruined it, I think.
Yeah, exactly. If there was a disclaimer, is what I was trying to say, and then everybody could, watch it as a soap opera or whatever. Then you kind of,
that should have been explained up
yeah.
front, and then everything would have been fine, except the real life. That's when we would have been, no, wait a minute, I thought that, right?
And even when you watch a soap opera and you know that it's all scripted and it's all fake, but then you're following like Soap Opera Digest and you hear about your characters that have stuff happen in real life, you kind of blend it all together, And that's what I was getting at with Ernie. It's like you didn't know what was part of the entertainment, the movie, and what was going on in his real life. He never let anybody know that, okay, this is real, guys.
Yeah, because we're in true crime, so we're assuming it's all true.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't virtual reality true crime. I don't know. I don't know. I think that maybe newbies to YouTube are totally blind to that even happening on here.
Yeah.
Newbies.
Mm-hmm.
And like when they said he is what is it traders called it? Rinse, repeat. So he got rid of us because we done heard it all. And he needed to bring in newbies who hadn't heard it all.
Yeah. I think I really think that that's what happened. Like he knew he
Me
kind of ran
too.
the course with a lot of people, so he needed to be out with them and then in with new people, you know.
I think
But
she was dead on with that. I believe she was dead on with that. And it's like, all right, y'all done graduated from the school of Ernie Shell. Y'all can go on. But we were like, wait a minute, where are we supposed to go now? What are we supposed to do? And he kept trying to shut the classroom door on us.
excuse me, young lady.
Hey there, baby.
Like I wouldn't be surprised in a month or a couple months or something if we didn't see him like on Rumble or something or Twitch or one of those new platforms starting all over again, because there's a history of it going back over 10 years.
Mm-hmm. When this YouTube fight started, I wonder if people were hired. I wonder that too. Me and Alicia have talked about that several times because we totally believe in psychological warfare. I mean, and we got, China Man and his balloon coming over here, la 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 la. Yes, y'all, we're already at war. Okay, it's on the internet. It's not combat like we're used to in the jungle. It is psychological warfare, spiritual warfare, and social warfare.
Yeah. And we know that they do those kind of experiments online.
CIA, hell yeah, they do.
You can look
Rose
up.
ain't as crazy as y'all think.
No, you can look
Rose
up.
is not as crazy as y'all think.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
I said you can look up files and see that stuff. You can watch Fox News and they'll talk about it, and they'll say that certain things could be false flags, things that the government does and stories that are put out there that could be completely untrue just to see how people respond to them,
Yeah. Well,
and they talk about that a lot.
I think it's going to be like this. And do I have my allegedly's up here? Trigger warning. Okay, yeah. I think that this is pre-election for a reason. I think that they are saying, will peer pressure work in the polls like it does here?
Well, I feel like that, and Lisa said this before too. I feel like that YouTube is a lot like politics, where you're kind
Oh,
of
hell
forced
yeah.
side, you're bashed and put down for choosing. Like, there's no side to choose that you're not going to get bashed for it,
That's
and
right.
the whole cancel culture thing that they do to each other and everything. It's all like what we see in politics these days. I think
Yeah.
she was spot on with that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't join in the trashing Nicolina because I don't know her. I don't jump in the trashing of, who else is, what's his dude's name, Roger something. I don't know him. I'm not going to trash those people. The people that have done me wrong, those are the people I'm going to trash, I'm not going to trash anybody that I know. I don't even know you,
Right. Well, and then like I said last night, I just don't care either.
Right.
Like, do your thing, do your own thing, whatever.
Yeah, I like that Sarah said, I don't even want to hear it. I don't want to hear it, and I don't want to see it. Don't send me any clips, and don't send me any screenshots. And I did the same thing right when all that started with Southern Girl. I'm not going to engage her. I'm not going to give them a live right after her live because that's not me. And I think it's stupid. The whole reason why she's mad at me is because me, Sugar Pie, you, Sarah, we all said she's timing us out because we're trying to tell you you have a rogue mod. Okay. We didn't know that he made her a rogue mod. We didn't know that he made her the mole. We didn't know that. We were looking after Ernie, right? And then we're the bad guy. because we were looking after Ernie. And now I have created the worst sin on earth I can never be forgiven for, and she never wants to have anything to do with me because I said, Ernie, you have a rogue mod.
Yeah.
That's what I did, y'all. If y'all want to know what the fight between me and Southern Girl is, that's it. That's it. And I got on to BDAC because I saw him pay subs to troll. And I think that's bullshit. I don't think that you should pay people to troll. You should troll with your own damn name. If you're going to be that way and stand by it. Don't sneak around and say, I'm a wonderful guy, and you're paying people to troll. You know, I've tried to be nice to him. I've tried to apologize to him, and he's still to this day. And it's like, well, then don't do it. You know, I'm not a bad person because I pointed out what you were doing. That doesn't make me a bad person. Don't hate me because you suck.
I have to hop down, Gypsy. I got a client texting me, want me to call him.
Okay.
Thank you for having me up.
Okay, thank you for coming. Appreciate it. Hope I didn't get on a tangent.
Love you. I'll talk with
love
you
you too. Okay, bye.
I'm here, but I can't talk for just a minute. I'll be back.
Okay. I don't think Ern has a job. No, I don't either. What part, Robin? That don't hate me because you suck. There's a lot going on around here about that, isn't it? You know? I mean, you know, when White Rabbit said, you know, let's just not call people out on what they do. You know, I'm all for that, you know, right? I could care less what he does with his money. But if it's going to affect me, I'm going to say, don't do that. Right? Just like he would say it to me. Don't do that. That's it. But, oh, it's a mortal sin and we're going to ruin their life on YouTube. That's not normal thinking. I mean, I don't know how many times I've been like, you know, I'm sorry that I called you out on that. It's none of my business if that's what you choose to do with your money. It's none of my damn business. I've said that over and over and over and over. And sorry, Southern Girl, that I saw you timing me out and you didn't want me to say anything. Right? So now you want my skin to melt into hell because I said, hey, Ernie, you got a rogue mod. That's not cuckoo, you know. She's smart, but sometimes doesn't get what you're trying to say if she's emotional. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Oh, okay. It's almost time for lunch, isn't it? No, I guess it is only 11. All righty. Let's see what do I got here that's good. This is Ernie.
Sick. My best friend's sister's boyfriend's brother's girlfriend heard from this guy who knows this kid is going with the girl who saw Ferris pass out at 31 Flavors last night. I guess it's pretty serious.
I think I remember that one.
Like that?
Yep.
To me, it's just, this is his
Oh
cliffhanger.
my gosh. Well, I guess I do have to go. Well, yeah, I didn't realize it was. I just saw the clock. I gotta like leave.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and end it. It's right at 3 hours, so I'm going to go ahead and end it.
Oh wow. I mean, I can come back later or something, but yeah, or I'll see you around.
Okay. I'll
Alright,
come back
peace
on
out.
then later. I'm going to go eat lunch.
All right, I'll see y'all later.
I love you guys.
Tucker takes the snap. Ball pitch out to number 28. Monty Tucker on the right side.
Go, Monty, go, 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 go!
He's got green grass in front of him. He's at the 5. Touchdown!